Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom! The squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom! The squared circle digest. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom! The squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
It is Wednesday, 7:04 p. The place to be, it is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley. That is the great Frankie Fresco. How we doing tonight, sir?
We're doing good, man. How you been?
Doing good, man. Doing good. It is WrestleMania week. It is upon us. If you've taken out mortgages, congratulations. I hope you enjoy the show. I, myself, will be watching on ESPN Unlimited. That's all I got to say about that. But if you're there, enjoy. I know Sean Ross Sapp posted from I believe he's staying either at Circa or near to where you can see the pool from Circa. I'm guessing that's still part of Circa, but they are showing WrestleMania there on the pool screen. So, all is well in the land that is TKO. They are raking in money hand over fist. And Frankie Fresco, we move on. Raw in the books, SmackDown in the books, and WrestleMania week finally here. And
Yeah.
by the way, AEW had a pretty good pay-per-view this weekend on Sunday. AEW Dynasty.
That is true. We have been getting a lot of wrestling these last couple of weeks, which is good. And I'm excited to talk about it, man. I'm excited to talk about the build-up to WrestleMania 42. I think you guys are excited about it as well. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And then, yeah, like you said, AEW had a good show this weekend. So I don't know where you want to start. Do you want to start with WWE? And then, obviously, we got our predictions, right? We got to do our first initial
Yeah,
prediction.
we got all our predictions on the things. Do you want to start with AEW? Because it's pretty much going to be a Dynasty recap, and then we can just focus on WWE. Do you want to do it that way this week? Or
Yeah, we could do AEW. We could
again,
treat the fans to some AEW to begin
you're
the
going to
night.
carry this segment mostly, but I did catch a few little things on it.
Well, look, man, I'm going to tell you something. So we could start with Dynasty, and Dynasty overall was a very good pay-per-view. It actually was way better than their previous pay-per-view because their previous pay-per-view, remember, I think I gave it like a C or a C minus. But this time around, it wasn't that bad. It was very entertaining. You had really good matches. Again, TK wanted to give us a lot of matches. He gave us, what, I think 12 matches? I think he gave us 12 matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is crazy because when we went off the air, there were 7.
Yeah, he had it. So hold on. He gave us Alex Windsor versus Marina Shafir, 0 hour. Camille versus Big Ann.
Oh, you're including the 0 hour.
Yeah, including those.
Okay. Because before it was 7 on the main card and 2, so there was 9 total with the 0 hour before.
So Alex Windsor, Camille. That Camille one was last minute. I remember that. The Jack Perry one, that's 3. And they had the Women's Tag Team Championship on 0 hour. So they had 4 matches on the 0 hour. Then they had the regular ones were the Young Bucks match, Ricochet, Darby Allin, FTR match, Willow, the Casino Gauntlet, the Tekla, Moxley, um, Orange Cassidy, and the trios, and MJF. How many is that? 10? That's 10. I think that's 10 for the pay-per-view and 4 for the 0 hour. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for so 14 matches in total for AEW this past weekend. So Tony Khan did not listen to MJF that he needed to shorten down on the matches. He still wanted to give the fans. I will say this. It did feel like they were rushing. They rushed a couple of matches, in my opinion. I feel like they were running out of time. It was a 4 hour show, not including the 0 hour. But if you just wanted the main pay per view, it was a 4 hour show, and I felt they had to rush it. Was it a 4 hour? No, I think it was 4 hours and a half. It was like 4 hours and a half.
Tony, Adrian, no doubt, Papa. See you guys in the chat. Thank you guys.
Yes, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna start with some AEW talk. So, all right. Look, did I watch the whole pay per view? Because remember, I think we had a question last 2 weeks ago of like, hey, does Frankie watch the whole AEW? I don't know if it was here or if it was maybe on the Adrian
I think
podcast.
it was on the AEW versus WWE.
Yeah, I think so. If you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, check Adrian and Tony. They both invited myself and forgot the other guy. My bad, bro. Tony, Adrian, you let me know. TC.
Great. We just
TC.
lost Tony. He's coming back in 20 minutes.
Okay, so we had TC and myself representing the AEW side. We had Tony and Adrian representing the WWE side. So if you get a chance, check out the Rainy Day Pod. We went ahead and we had the AEW versus the WWE side. So
Tyler Helton, how you doing, sir?
I like how you guys are all coming in. Thank you for joining on, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and hit the like, and if you guys can repost, I would greatly appreciate it. Especially myself and Sean on X. If you could repost it, we really would appreciate it. All right, so overall card very well done. We had banger after banger. If I had to pick one of my favorite matches, Sean, you're gonna be surprised, man. You want to know which one was my favorite match out of all of them?
I'm going to go Jamie Hayter versus Tekla.
Absolutely not. That was actually one of the worst matches of the night. Sir, you'll be surprised. It was a wrestler that you don't like seeing wrestling that much anymore. It was Chris Jericho versus Ricochet. I thought those two did a phenomenal job together, and they worked really well. And I think Chris Jericho, it helped him having the little bit of layoff. He was able to move out there.
His body didn't have to get beat up. It's the first time he's had to move like that. Tyler said Kenny Omega MJF was
well, obviously, you know, I didn't want to go with one of the obvious ones, even though the Kenny Omega and MJF match was really good. Just a little bit disappointed at the fact that Kenny lost. I kind of wanted Kenny Omega to win, but hey, Sean, you called it, man. You wanted MJF, and MJF won, and he did cheat his way to victory as well. He always does. So
that's what he needs to do.
But overall,
for the gimmick, baby.
So a couple of updates on this. So the 0 hour, we had predicted. Alex Windsor. We actually predicted she was going to beat Marina Shafir because you actually said that Marina Shafir never wins, and you're absolutely right about that. So she took another L, and then Camille won, which was nice that she came back. You had
who'd she end up wrestling on the 0 hour? I'm sorry,
Big Ann. Big Ann is her name.
Oh yeah, it must be one of the people that they just signed or somebody. Okay.
Yeah, it's somebody called Big Ann. And then a hell of a match between Jack Perry and Mark Davis. That was a really good match.
Yeah, those two guys can go too. That's Mark Davis. Don't let that physique fool you. That man can go.
And you know what? Jack Perry took some really nasty bumps in that matchup, and he held his own. So that was a really good match. I don't know how that one didn't make it to the pay-per-view because that was a really good one. Yeah, no, Big Ann, Anne is her name. Apparently, I don't know. I looked this up because I wasn't too sure about her, but yeah, it's a Big Ann. Apparently, she's who Who
She might
is
be a
this girl?
local. She might be a local talent there or something. They used enhancement wise for Camille.
Hold on. It says TBS. It said Camille repeatedly threw Nightingale in the garage door. Okay, and
That
then
was the
Nightingale.
attack at the beginning.
Yeah, that was at the beginning. And then, do they say anything about this chick? No, I don't. I don't see this. So she unloaded on Anne with strikes. Who is this girl? And Camille picked up Big Ann and took her to the corner. No, I don't know who this girl is. I I saw a
Yeah.
little bit. I didn't watch the 0 hour
Yeah, no, it's
that match.
probably just
I'm
an
not gonna lie to you.
enhancement talent or somebody that was a local talent, and Camille was just in there to beat her up so that Willow could come out and get beat up again.
And then I did see the women's tag team championship, and obviously Megan Bain and uh, Lena Cross are just, those girls are just, I don't know who could beat them. They're just really good. Those girls can hang. Like they're
They're
amazing.
finally using Megan Bain the way they should.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
those
Man,
two girls are just
they were wasting her for a while. They were wasting Megan Bain.
very, 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 very strong showing by those two girls. Now, here's the crazy thing, Sean, because we kind of said that Jericho was gonna win because they were in Canada. We said that
Yeah.
Cope and Christian Cage
Yeah.
were gonna win, and they lost as well. And if you kind of notice a lot of the trends, a lot of the heels won in this pay-per-view. You had FTR won. You had Ricochet win. You had Moxley beat Will Ospreay. You had MJF beat Kenny Omega. You had
I
who
don't
else?
understand why they had Moxley beat Osprey though.
Tekla won. Dude, it was almost all heels.
In that format, you just go to a draw, and then you don't have to have either. Like what? So Moxley can beat Osprey in less than 20 minutes.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, look, it was a really good match.
No, I'm not saying I'm not taking anything away from the match or anything like that. What I'm saying though is, in philosophy, to me, at one point you're going to be elevating Osprey. And again, I get it. It's pro wrestling. You go down, you come up. I understand all that. But for a guy that was been out for as long, wanted to get his revenge and everything else. I don't know. Again, sometimes they know what they're doing further down the road. I'm very in the moment with what is going on. I just don't think it was a good choice to have Osprey lose in under 20 minutes in a match where you could have had them fight all the way and have a draw and then still run it back. Now Osprey doesn't get his revenge by beating on. I mean, he whooped up on him, but he doesn't get the revenge of taking the title from him. He loses, but now and then what Tyler says is if they run it back at Double or Nothing or All Out or All In, does Osprey, to me, like, you lost. I don't how you lost. You lost. Why do I need to see that again?
And that's another thing too. Remember we were saying that our goal eventually is for Will Ospreay to actually become the heavyweight champ. So taking an L against Moxley is just gonna delay eventually him making it, which I don't know if Tony Khan is ever planning to make him the champion. Like, we're already halfway into the year. Time is flying, and you're still gonna carry on this feud between these two because I don't see why Will Ospreay would not go after Moxley again and try to revenge this loss.
And then with Darby's win, he versus MJF in Everett. Is that tonight? Are they in Everett, Washington tonight?
I would have to look it up. I'm not sure.
Because Darby Allin gets the shot in his hometown. I don't know if that's tonight or if it's down the road, but whenever they're in Everett, Washington, it's for the heavyweight title. Darby Allin versus MJF.
I would have to look and see. I'll take a look while
Tyler says yep, so I'm guessing he's saying yep, it's tonight.
it is.
So
Okay.
It will be tonight. It'll be Darby versus MJF for the title.
But here's the other thing I kind of got upset. Why? Like, they gave all these heels the win, and then they don't give Andrade the win, bro. Like, Andrade should have won that. Like, why does he keep riding on Darby Allin? And it was a really good match.
I mean,
very good match.
Once they made the stipulation, Darby doesn't get the match unless he beats, like he has to win the match to get a title shot. You kind of knew what was going to happen there.
But it's so frustrating because, like, I really feel like Andrade was carrying momentum to this match, and you don't need to you don't need to give any more momentum to Darby Allin. I mean, he's already been plenty of times in main events. Like, why are you going ahead and giving this guy? I don't know. And like you said it before, Tony Khan relies heavy on Darby Allin. It's like, yo, if shit hits the fan, Darby's here to
I
friggin'
don't mean this how it's going to come out, but I do mean it how it's going to come out. Darby Allin is Tony Khan's Brock Lesnar.
And
Whenever
yes,
Vince McMahon needed something and he didn't have it there, don't. The music hits. Here comes Brock. That's Tony Khan relying on Darby Allin.
Tyler's correct. It is. They just reposted it on X. AEW 48 minutes ago. It's the World Heavyweight Championship belt on the line. MJF versus Darby Allin at his hometown.
Yep.
Now my question is, does Darby win tonight?
Man, I mean, going by TK's track record, no. I mean, normally that's when it happens in your hometown, you get the big celebration, but TK doesn't play that way. If he thinks he's smarter than everybody else or whatever, his booking says, no way Darby wins this match.
Yeah, today is a Dynamite spring break through.
Ah,
You know how they like giving these Dynamites and Collisions names. Did you see that Collision is coming to Florida? Hell yeah. I wanted to see your reaction to it. Yeah.
we get Collision.
But they named it like crazy. They named it a specific name because you know what's funny? My brother hits me up and
It's
he's
the
like,
Florida Freakout.
No, it's not called the Florida Freakout. I know that you're mentioning that because of freaking the way they named this one. It's called AEW presents Collision Fairway to Hell, baby. Fairway to Hell.
What is it, on the PGA golf course? Where is it at?
It is being at. Hold on, I did look. It's not in a big arena. It is in the PGA golf course where they played the golf thing, right? Yes, Fairway to Hell. Yes, Fairway to Hell. It is taking place at the Sophie Center, which is the golf area, right?
That's up there, the near PGA up in West Palm.
That's in Palm Beach Gardens. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's up by near Trump and all that. There's a Trump National too up there too.
So we're driving. I'm picking you up. We're going.
When is it? What day is it recorded? Or is it an actual live Collision Saturday?
Okay, so it says April the 8th is when they announced it, and they say that these tickets, there's gonna be 1,200 tickets available. Tickets for AEW Collision Fairway to Hell will go on sale on Monday the 13th. So that was a couple days ago, was it? Yeah, it was a couple days ago, and it is taking place. When is this gonna be?
May 9th.
Damn, you're good at this. I couldn't find it.
No, Adrian put it on the board. So.
Oh, okay, my bad. See, you guys are better on than we. Oh, because Adrian's in West Palm. That's why.
Adrian's in West Palm.
Wow, look.
He probably already got his tickets. He's probably ready to go.
Well, remember, I told Adrian that one of the things he should do before he starts following AEW is actually go to a show, man. I think once you go to a live show, you're going to fall in love with it because you're going to notice how good their shows are live. They're 20,000 times better live than watching it on TV, except for the pay-per-views. But Dynamite and Collision, if you watch it live, it's way better than watching it. I'm telling you, than watching it at home. That's just my opinion. Every time I've gone to an AEW, I've gone to AEW Dynamite, I've gone to AEW Collision, and I've gone to 2 different pay-per-views for AEW. So Tony Khan needs to thank me because I spent pretty good buck of money on their shows. Like, remember, Sean, when I had the sign, the Square Circle Digest, I came out on TV a couple times, bro.
Yeah.
And but anyways, long story short, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Darby's gonna win tonight. Maybe there's a possibility. And you also got the Camille versus Willow because of the whole backstage situation that they had on 0 Hour. So that's true. And then the other match that they have is the TNT Championship is on the line. The new winner, the new guy, Kevin Knight, who was the one who won the gauntlet, is going against Claudio Castagnoli. And we're gonna hear from Jericho as well. So look, man, very good match, very good pay-per-view. Chris Jericho was sad that he lost. Very happy of the match. I thought it did really well. I was happy with, I think at the end of the day, The trios, I think they got that one right. I like the trios. Plus one of the guys from the other team got hurt, I believe.
Gabe Kidd's out.
Gabe Kid, that's who it was. He got hurt
Yeah,
in
and now
that
he's
matchup.
out of New Japan too. So he was upset. He went on quite a tirade. After the show.
But the gauntlet match was pretty good. The tag team match, the Cope and Cage was pretty good too. Just I don't think they should have lost. Um, but the second match I will have to say that lived up to expectation, bro. Look, after Jericho and Ricochet, my next favorite match had to be the Don Callis family, Okada and Takeshita fighting the Young Bucks. That was one of the best tag team matches, and the best thing about it is that they started the card with that match, and that was so good. And they're still carrying the Okada Takeshita feud all the time because you would see them like kind of act like they're working together and then they would like betray themselves, and it was so good. So they carried it. And plus Okada dressed as the Young Bucks, that was freaking amazing. That was so good. I loved it. I think they have something on with those two, and I'm glad that that they're in it. And even though they took the L, it worked to their storyline because obviously they're not in sync, Okada and Takeshita. So those guys, I kid you not, man, I'm really, really happy about those two. Those two have really made the tactic division fun, and I'm happy for them. And I want to see more about them. I want to see more. It has me intrigued. Remember when you had Adam Cole and MJF? I kind of feel like it's the same way. I'm intrigued with those guys because those guys are very entertaining. Even though their English is not the best, but they're
No,
so good that they make it happen.
the
And
whole thing about wrestling is everybody's so stuck on like with Asuka and Io and all those that we don't understand. But when they do things, you understand. It registers. It's entertaining. Okada with the middle finger, the sly little one-liners that he did, all that stuff works, man. And that's where, like, to me, Okada is he's just so entertaining. He really is. I know he can't sit there and carry on, or maybe he can, but in his character, he can't carry on a conversation to save his life. But when he talks, it registers. And that's what you're invested in it, man. It's about investment. And those two have got you invested in whatever the hell they're doing, whatever the hell's going on between them two. Ultimately, we know there's going to be some type of betrayal somewhere, but they keep it going, and in the family too.
yes,
Because it's like it was kind of creating sides within the family. You had people who were siding with Okada and siding with Takeshita, and then I think it was Kyle Fletcher was the one that was with Takeshita, and then he ended up teaming with Okada, and then it's like, oh wait a minute, I was thinking that it was going to lead to that, but then Kyle Fletcher gets hurt, and other stuff there, but ultimately, yeah, man, I think it's a great thing they got going there. I agree with you 100%.
Now Tyler brings up a good point because he's calling it a TLC match between FTR, Team Edge, and Christian, and then the Young Bucks. And if that was to happen, you gotta run that like at All In. You can't do that at I think their next pay-per-view is what is their next pay-per-view? Forbidden Door? I think Forbidden Door is their next pay-per-view if I'm not mistaken. But overall, it looks like
but All In's got to be coming up sometime soon. It's near almost the summer. So,
yeah, Forbidden Door is next. I think it's June 28th for Forbidden Door.
When's All In?
In
England, in UK.
Not sure, but they are for Forbidden Door. They are bringing New Japan Wrestling, so it's gonna be New Japan and CMLL again. So it should be good, and it's at the SAP Center. So this is in California. So I mean, it's not bad. I'm excited about Forbidden Door.
He said next pay-per-view is Double or Nothing.
Oh, really?
Tyler said that. Yeah, I'm going off Tyler. I'm just going off what they're writing.
Well, Tyler must know because I'm on their they're promoting funny enough on their page they're promoting Double or Nothing. I'm sorry, they're promoting Forbidden Door, and then they also are promoting for CMLL their Slam Fest, which is a banger of matches actually. You got Hechicero fighting in that. He's going up against Hechicero and then Ángel Del Oro against Místico and Templario. Claudio Castagnoli against Atlantis Jr. You got quite a few. These are not bad matches actually, and you got some AEW. I didn't know they had this, guys. So there is a random. Are these are midgets, bro? They got Micro Wrestler Showdown to begin
Yeah.
this show at CMLL. That's pretty cool. They got a guy. Now, these guys, I don't know who they are because I don't follow micro wrestlers. I'm sorry if I said anything by saying midgets. My apologies. But micro wrestling, Kemalito and okay, let me just say it in Spanish. Kemalito and Periquito. Oh my God, this guy calls himself Weed. Or what? Periquito is like no Periquito. I don't know if Periquito is weed or cocaine. And then he's going against Shamu and Tengu. Tengu. Look, I'm gonna show you this, bro. That way you can see.
Shamu. That's not a micro name.
Look, check this out. Look, I'm gonna show you. Look at him. Oh man, this is gonna be a little bit hard. But
Oh, Tyler's got breaking news.
look at that. Do you see them?
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I see him. The little picture.
What's the breaking news, Tyler?
I don't know. Would be weed or a small parrot. I
Yeah,
agree.
Periquito. Oh,
Yeah, small parakeet. Small parakeet. Small parrot.
it has to be. It has to be a small parrot, bro. Yeah, because he's dressed as a parrot in the damn thing, and then
Come on, Frankie. Come
I-
on, man.
no,
I'm looking for
wait.
this guy to walk out in a cloud of smoke.
Hold on.
I mean, and I think the cloud
Sammy?
dressed up like a bird.
Sammy, thank you for
I mean,
clarifying because
Birdman?
Sammy did just say it would be weed or a smart parrot, which is true because Periquito is weed too. That's why I was like, oh, maybe. Oh, you know what? Maybe he's dressed as a bird and he's smoking weed as he walks inside the ring. That would make the perfect sense. All right, Tyler says the event in partnership with CMLL, New Japan Wrestling, and Stardom will take place. Yes, that's the one Yes, that's the one that they promoted on their social media. That's the one I just finished seeing. So yes, that's happening in San Jose, California.
Yeah, that's where weed's wrestling.
No. Where the micro wrestling is at CMLL, their Slam Fest, which is happening.
That's at Slam Fest. I'm sorry.
That's happening on April the 16th, which is tomorrow, actually.
Oh, is that in Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So the fans over there in WrestleMania are gonna be able to see some CMLL.
Let's discuss one thing, and this wasn't on the thing at all, but I just thought about it because it's been made a big thing. During WrestleMania weekend, there was a lot of matches that was going to be TNA and also throughout the country, not necessarily just here, but the one that was going to happen was Leon Slater versus Ricochet in Vegas, put on by High Spots, and TNA has pulled all their talent due to partner something. So I wanted to get your thoughts on.
Wait, so Leon Slater and Ricochet are no longer wrestling?
Nope, the match was taken off.
But it
though
was
Leon Slater was supposed to win.
Well, hey, we didn't talk about it, but TNA had a hell of a pay-per-view too. Their pay-per-view was, I think, on Friday, and it was either Friday or Saturday. And the one who stole the show was Leon Slater. He was actually really good. Why did they pull it off? Because of the whole.
There's a part. They said due to a partnership. Everybody's thinking it was WWE. Don't know for sure, but again, a lot of this, like for instance, the Slater match is happening this week, and now they've got to find somebody to.
Okay, hold on a second. It says, hold on. It says, wait, what is it saying here? Never mind. The saga. Okay, WrestleCon promoter. Hold on a second. It says over the last week, most talked about the topic. Okay, nonstop WrestleCon promoter drops bombshell. It says revelation on the AEW TNA saga. It says we went directly to Leon's boss. We went directly to Ricochet's boss. We told them what the finish of the match would be to protect the individual. A lot of people think they didn't want Leon to lose. Guys, I'm going to be honest. Leon wasn't losing. Oh, there you go. That's why you said that he wasn't going to lose.
Yeah.
And then the internet, Dave Meltzer, which a lot of us don't like him, but he says he reached out and he said, "Hey, I heard this match might be pulled. Do you have any idea what's happening?" And then they said, circling back, we asked Ricochet and Leon's agent to follow up. He spoke to Mr. Silva and confirmed that was the plan. Then I started talking to Brian Myers because I knew he was going to be in a similar situation with his match involving Nick and MJF. Oh, so Nick Nemeth was supposed to wrestle against MJF at this
Yeah,
event,
but that
right?
was at a card last weekend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember seeing that promotion that they were promoting it. At
They
that
pulled,
time,
they pulled it the day before. Was the day he told he couldn't make it.
wow. Okay. So it says, I believe Carlos got upset AEW ran on a Thursday, hurting their ratings, and everything changed. That's my opinion. Maybe WWE has more involvement than we ever thought. But Carlos, he's talking about Carlos Silva,
It's over. Yeah.
can say to WWE, guys, I gave my word on this match. I would like it to be able to follow through with my word. So apparently, it says here, hold on. It says Carlos could always tell them about how the matches were. Just a possibility. Yeah. So okay. So this one, and I'm reading this off of itrwrestling.com. They're basically not confirming that is WWE influencing it, but they said that Carlos Silva could always tell them about how the matches were already committed and got him permission to honor his commitment, and thought the reason for the cancellation could be AEW running a show at the same time as Impact.
Yep.
So that's what they're saying, that supposedly
Yeah.
that's the reason why they canceled it. But do you think it was WWE? I think it was WWE telling them,
Oh,
yo,
I think he might have got in the ear like, oh, look what they did. They ran against you to hurt your ratings, and then Silva just got upset about it probably.
and there is no confirmation yet that the partnership between WWE and TNA has ever ended. Like they still have like some type of partnership, or at least nobody has ever gone on record to say that they don't help each other out, or at least TNA.
Abyss was on TNA TV just the other week,
Yeah, because it says confirm it's going
and
great.
and he's a producer in WWE. WWE let him go on TNA on the thing. I think it was the pay-per-view, maybe a part of the pay-per-view, this past pay-per-view. And yeah, so there's definitely more there. And again, TNA really is partnered really technically with NXT, not WWE per se, main roster. But yeah, I mean, but my problem is like, and again, the problem was the other show didn't run until right before. So the competition part happened the week before Nick Nemeth was supposed to versus MJF, which then I'm sorry, I take that back. It ran when the Final Four stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The decision was made, a week or so before. I know Nick Nemeth tried to keep it open and keep the things going, but ultimately got told no.
Yeah, and then there has been rumors, and I'm just reading this online right now. It says there has been rumors that WWE intended to end their partnership due to the new TV deal, but sources within both companies have denied this, stating that the agreement is still in place. So, I don't know. I mean, like you said, if you still have a couple,
The thing is, you got to remember, like, they're not going to partner with Raw and SmackDown because that's on NBC Universal and on Netflix. CW deal is peanuts. So that's why the partnership is with the NXT brand and TNA. You could call it WWE if you want, but it's really TNA and NXT.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, and again, like Tony's saying right there, TNA still in partnership with NXT 100%. Do you remember TNA and AEW was good term relationship? Yeah, they were until, again, it's funny because WWE did what Tony Khan did. Tony Khan scooped in and took people that he wanted, and WWE has done as well. The only difference is WWE let contracts expire, whereas Tony Khan kind of scooped in and just took what he wanted. Because at that time, AEW wasn't offering contracts like they were now because they weren't in the same situation. And a different ownership, not different ownership, but Scott, damn, the Canadian guy, Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore was running the talent then.
yes, and that's when he left, right? When he left,
When
I
he
think
left, I think he left because of the WWE partnership. I believe that's the
Yes.
was the deciding factor, either from WWE's side or his side. Somebody said it's not going to work this way, and he left the company.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, if WWE is still influencing that, I'm a little bit disappointed because I mean those were some really good matches. I mean, if you would have seen Leon Slater versus Ricochet, hey man, either would have been out there watching it. I'm pretty sure somebody would have definitely maybe recorded something if it wasn't going to be shown live. But and it also affects the people who are at Vegas, right? Like that's a treat. You get to watch that matchup.
Yeah, but you also have to protect your quote unquote talent and property. You're not going to have, and again, I know what the word is. Leon Slater wasn't going to lose, but at the same time, Tony Khan was okay with Ricochet losing. Ricochet just beat Jericho at the pay per view, so that tells me there was going to be some kind of run in, or even two guys hit the ring and then they make them two team up to take on a tag team. Been done many times in indie wrestling to where you end up that way. Neither one has to lose.
Yeah, but
But
remember Camille beat Speedball and I think it was Kevin Knight, right? I think it was them too.
yeah,
On that 2-for-1 and I said how is how it was it no it
yeah, but
was Megan
those
Bain.
are
It was
three.
Megan Bain. It was Megan
No,
Bain.
yeah, I know, but those are three AEW talents. I mean, that's just AEW on AEW crime.
But don't you
That's
think
not
that also
that's
doesn't
not
that
that's
affect
not Camille and or Rhea Ripley pinning the two of them. You know what I'm saying? That'd be different. I guarantee you that doesn't happen.
maybe? I
Yeah,
guess.
we talked about the stabbing with Cruel, and then now I know they banned wrestling from that venue now totally because again everybody found out what was it? Oh my goodness! It was a big staged event. All right, you get what you sow. Unfortunately, if you want to go and do that kind of stuff, you're gonna get what you deserve. I mean, unfortunately, events have been running there for 20 years. GCW now has to find a new venue. Other venues have to find another venue because this company said we're going to try to create controversy and create something. And now there's no wrestling there after 20 years. Done.
Wow, that was very very controversial of what happened there. And yes, you're right. It was staged, which was not good. Now, why would you go to that extreme, Sean? Like, why?
Because people don't get it, man. People do not get, bro. This has been going on once they started, like once I heard, oh, it was another wrestler. I was like, one of two things happened. There was a personal attack somewhere, and dude came in and stabbed the guy, or it's staged. It was one of those two things I was thinking. And it turned out it was staged, man. It's like I don't
But
understand because again, you're a company that just hurt a whole bunch of other companies because they ran there before and they keep running there.
and you want to know what's the crazy thing too, Sean, is that when you do things like that, you actually could possibly get some psychotic guy copycat that and actually do some harm to somebody, and it isn't staged.
No, I
And
know,
then
but
what are you gonna do?
that's where fans get the ideas that oh, we can't do this because and again, it happens everywhere. But that's also why you notice like WWE whenever they do certain things, it happens in the backstage area, and you're kind of wondering like, why is that fan back there? And then you end up seeing that they're part of a thing. They're not doing it in the crowd, or like a lot of times for a while WWE wouldn't go in the crowd. Now that's changed because CM Punk actually punched the guy who pushed him, but it wasn't the guy. The guy he punched wasn't the one that pushed him. It was another guy that ran up behind him and pushed him, and CM Punk almost went down the stairs. He turned around and just punched the first guy that was behind him. And
Yes,
unfortunately,
I
it
remember.
wasn't the guy that was there. And then they were like, all right, no more going out and stand in the crowd. Because, again, you also get drunk and unruly people, man. And
Yeah.
and heaven forbid it's an indie show. You never know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, and no doubt says stage a stabbing. Yeah, man. Me and Sean, we spoke about this. That we
Yeah.
were like, we were talking about, hey, does indie shows need to bring in more security?
Yeah.
Do indie shows need to protect themselves? Put metal detectors
He
and
stabbed
stuff
him with
like
like a
that.
shank that was big enough to where it stabbed him, but not enough to like do damage. So they made sure, if you want to talk, they made sure it was safe. But again, it's like, what are we doing?
That is too
If
extreme.
if you have to do that to do your, your subculture of wrestling that you like, that is like, what are you doing there? Are you setting up a match? What match are you setting up if you stab somebody? What winner dies? I mean, the loser dies in the fight.
But remember that wasn't
Like
the guy was
what
a fan
angle?
though.
What angle? No, he was dressed as a fan because he was from another federation that was going to do like a hardcore or what's it called, death match type stuff. And they staged this to drum up the feud. But it's like, so what now? You stab him. How do you lose? What happens to the loser of the next match? They get thrown in the alligator pit? Like, how do you go from? How do you make an angle out of stabbing somebody? It just doesn't make sense. The next thing is like, what? Back to the Wild Wild West? Take 10 steps and fire?
I mean, but wrestling is crazy. I mean, look at when Hangman Page burned freaking Swerve Strickland's house. I mean,
Yes, but Swerve Strickland wasn't in the house.
thank God. I mean,
Well,
you know,
and anyways, it wasn't his house. It was the grandmother's house that Swerve just bought.
but it still
Because
was
he
a
got the
he
big
still burned somebody's
contract.
house. He still burned somebody's house. Um, what did he say? He loves what? What?
Different pro wrestling promotion fan. Yeah, but see, that's where like, again, man, like,
That's too
hey,
extreme, bro. And like what Sean says, the storyline doesn't make any sense because you're right. What is it gonna? Gonna be the finish? I kill him.
Swerve's house.
So,
Yeah, no, it
um,
just I got again. What you got to? So Cruel has got to do what to him next? Like, it
chop
just
off one
doesn't.
of his legs or one of
Yeah,
his
I
arms.
mean, what,
Other,
during the
right?
match he just chops his hand off, and what
I don't know how much more extreme you could get.
yeah, it just at some point it gets to a point to where it's like, oh, all right,
Um,
man, we got to jump into our picks here because if not, we're gonna be here forever, and we
yeah.
got to watch Darby Allin win the AEW Heavyweight Championship here in about 16 minutes.
Yes, yes. Swerve house, sir. Swerve house. One last thing. Hell of a move by Kenny Omega on MJF. If you saw it, he did the one winged angel off the turnbuckle. That was badass, man.
Yeah.
Very,
I mean,
very
the
impressive.
dude's got talents up the yin yang, man. And
Jesus.
kudos to Ricochet, pulling off the lion salt for the win, I believe, right?
Yeah. I thought no night. Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's true. You're right. There was no video.
No, no,
There
no.
was
I think he like stabbed him with like a or whatever. They rigged up something to where it looked like he was stabbed or something.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, because then he was getting clobbered too. He was getting
Oh,
hit
yeah.
by the other GCW wrestlers. All right. But that was AEW. Hopefully Darby possibly pulls the victory. I don't know.
Can
We'll
I tell
find
you
out.
something? I think this has been the longest we talked about AEW for a while on the Squared Circle Digest.
It has been. Like we're like that goes to show you like we're not prepared because like we're like, oh, what's the next pay-per-view? Because we really like I just tune
Yeah.
in from time to time.
Yeah.
But I don't I'm
No, it's
not
a cool
like
pay per view. I mean, I thought again. I've always said it from the beginning, even when I didn't like necessarily the storylines or the week. AEW delivers on pay per view most of the time. You're gonna get some duds. It happens all the time, but majority of the time, the pay per view is when you want to tune into AEW because they will deliver. Now it'll run for 5-6 hours, but they deliver.
yeah, it was pretty long, not gonna lie. It's pretty long, but pretty good. And then you know, they did carry the entrances were pretty cool, the fire for the devil and all that stuff. And then he went once he won, he sat on his like I guess devil chair and was dropped down and stuff. That was pretty interesting for MJF. It would just suck if he loses to Darby. If he loses today to Darby, I'll be so mad. Like he just finished beating the god of wrestling and he loses to Darby. That better not happen tonight. That would be something that actually Tony Khan would actually do. I just that's how dumb sometimes Tony Khan makes some of these dumb calls. But I hope MJF still pulls it off.
Yeah.
What did Tyler write? March 28th show.
Well, no, if there was Cruel may have had a cut because of the deathmatch slack at the event. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I know they said that there was a cut on cruel, which is why I thought maybe they just made up some kind of little fake thing and cut him and made it look like he was stabbed or something. But whatever. That's still it goes too much, man. If you want to do that, they should have had the guy attack him in the ring, beat him down, and do your death match stuff in the ring, so that the fans could see. Not do it at a. You could still do the altercation. Like, it's happened before. We've seen it. Darby's done it with guys in AEW. They're selling merchandise. They start arguing back and forth, or they're doing a press conference. And then, later on, maybe they attack them in the ring or whatever. But, like, that's just like, man, that makes no damn sense. And then to get the whole locker room involved in it, like, to where, like, that could be assault. If somebody lays in, like, that guy would not have been pushed out the door if you would have stabbed somebody and I was in the ring with them. That guy wouldn't have made it out the door. He might have got dragged out of the door limp, but he's not making it out of the door. Especially if you tell me he stabbed you. So everybody might have been in.
I mean, at the end, they had to be in, bro. There was no way they
it had to be, because again, it just goes through the whole motions of it, man. That's my problem is and also that puts the big stain on, indie wrestling in a way too, because now again it gets that bad name of, oh, you don't know what you're gonna get when you go. You gotta watch out, people are stabbing, and really it's not happening. So now we move over to the week that it is. It is WrestleMania week, and Frankie, WrestleMania 42. It's right around the corner. I do got a question for you. I don't know. Do you watch the Cody Rhodes podcast at all?
I watch it sometimes. I didn't watch the last one.
Did you watch the Triple H one? No?
No, I didn't watch it. I want to watch it, but I didn't watch it.
So good when he said, now this has never been brought up. Cody talking to Triple H. He goes, we've never brought this up, but I did a thing where I took a sledgehammer to one of your thrones. And Triple H started laughing. He says, well, it wasn't my sledgehammer. Yours was a little smaller. And, and they cut jokes on it, but they actually discussed it a little bit. And Cody, again, this is feeding into his heel persona. Triple H said when he won the Ring of Honor title, which was the first title Cody won outside of WWE after leaving, he said one of the first 5 texts that he received was from Triple H.
Saying that he was watching?
Saying that he was watching and he was proud of him.
Okay.
So it was very interesting watching them two kind of get together, because I felt like they're kind of hammering out the angle that they've been doing and kind of showing that, I'm your boy, I'm your boy, Triple H. I'll be there for you, And this week in WrestleMania, we get to sit at the table, buddy. We are at the table.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
I'm just happy you didn't put me next to Cody. I prefer being next to CM Punk. Not gonna lie.
That's fine.
Even though you got the tribal chief next to you, I feel a little bit jealous now.
Oh, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, Triple H has got his hand on both of us. He's just like palming us like a basketball. That's where it's sitting at, bro.
Yes, sir. But all right, so now we're talking WWE. You saw Cody. He went to Pat McAfee. He broke.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
baby. Yeah.
Heel moves, right? Those are all heel moves, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, because again, remember what he said. Like or what Stephanie told him. You got to go dark. You got to go to a dark place. That's not you. Can you do it? And now you're seeing it. It's kind of playing out not in the ring, but you're watching Cody become the heel on the outside, not on the inside.
And
translate.
And did you hear? I think he came out on one of the podcasts saying that the whole Pat McAfee storyline was like the worst decision ever made by WWE, taking shots again on the promotion. Which, again, it's like I don't know where they're going with this, Sean, because That's where that kayfabe
Yeah, but see,
meaning, like,
the
it
only
frustrates me because are they playing with us? Like, is this supposed to be the storyline, or are they really pissed off at TKO and but that TKO is making all these moves at the last minute? You know, the ticket prices, they're relating everything to real life. Like,
yeah, mhm.
I
Because
don't.
it's real. It's real. It's the fans. You know, there's a real thing there, and I believe what if they're smart, what they do is they get Ari Emanuel to become Vince McMahon, and you hate him, and in essence, by hating you, the enemy of thy enemy is thy friend. You start liking Triple H and his booking, whether it's good or not. That's my WWE, because TKO is the evil empire, and they're trying to take away the wrestling, because that's the way they're trying to portray this.
They are. That's what they're going with.
Yes, and that I feel like is to get out of the whole bad booking. Now you can physically make a 180 on something, like adding Pat McAfee to a story, and be like, that wasn't my call. And you hate that move so much, and you start blaming TKO, that you forget about all the other stuff, because that's what we do in a society,
So you think the
right?
fans are gonna? You think the fans are gonna eventually forget about all this and start just blaming everything on TKO, and the storyline can work for WWE?
If they run it that way, yeah. If you don't bring Ari Emanuel in and you have Pat McAfee and all these guys, like I said, I think, look, Ari Emanuel doesn't have to be there all the time, but he needs to make appearances. For instance, and we talked about this already. To me, and again, this is just me and my thinking, which is more than likely 99% wrong in WWE world.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had the book, CM Punk loses, Cody loses, Roman Reigns and Randy Orton pull up together
Mm-hmm.
with Pat McAfee, with Paul Heyman, with Brock Lesnar, however you want to do this. The limo gets out, they get out, they're all kind of standing together, and you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? And then the last person that rises out of the limo is Ari Emanuel. First time you see him, people aren't going to know him, but that's why Paul Heyman needs to say, Mr. Emanuel, leader of TKO, welcome to the WWE. And Ari adjusts his tie, his little suit shirt. He walks in the back. He walks up to the gorilla position. He says, Mr. Paul Levesque, your duties tonight are no longer needed. TKO is taking over. Paul Heyman, the seat is yours. And you run this Raw like that.
Not bad.
SmackDown rolls around, and you do the same thing. But you
What?
do
Up,
whoever's
but
running
what?
that.
But
I don't
what?
know who's running that one, though. I don't
But
know if it's
what about Nick
Michael
Aldis?
Hayes or whatever.
But what about
Oh,
Nick
no.
Aldis and
Yes, yeah. But every time they go to make a decision, Pat McAfee or one of them guys are there where, no. That's not it's not a WWE decision anymore. It's now a TKO decision. And TKO is going to tell you whatever, and that's official. And you start throwing everything back at them. Just like what the NWO did, but not in a renegade response. This is in a methodical takeover, because it's yours anyways. I'm not coming in to take over. It's mine. I'm just going to fix what the problem has been. Now you get rid of Triple H for a week, maybe two. You bring hardship on Cody, CM Punk, LA Knight, the Usos, whatever. You just make life hell for them, like what they did when the Authority with Stephanie and Triple H. It's nothing new. It's just different people running those situations. And then that is when you bring back maybe Stephanie and she's arguing with Ari Emanuel or Paul Heyman in the ring. And then Triple H makes the comeback. And then you start making the angle to where whatever it's going to be, we're going to fight for power at this pay-per-view or whatever. I would ultimately run it to try to get the War Games. So you got Team WWE versus Team TKO, because then you can join Raw and SmackDown together, so that you can throw CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, whatever, versus the Evil Empire.
I like it. I think that's a really clever way of doing it, and I think that's a clever way of them going ahead and, like you said, getting a little bit of that heat off of Triple H's back and allowing him to kind of like run with it, and at the same time bring in some faces and then hate TKO, because people already hate TKO because they're already charging wazoo when it comes to the
Yeah.
ticket sales. So it's like
Yep.
if you want to go to any event, blame them.
And think
I-
about this. Think about this. Pat McAfee said what? See, he said it as CM Punk. The reason people are saying it so much is because you're not that worth that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said that the reason people think prices are so high because you're not worth paying that much to see.
My
You know what I'm
question.
saying? That's where TKO's part of it comes from. Is no, it's again. We talked about this I feel like a couple weeks ago.
We have.
TKO thinks it's a talent issue. Talent thinks it's a TKO issue. This is just making itself, and organically, you tell Ari Emanuel, look, you're not going to like some of the things that are said, but we're gonna tear it down to the threads. We're gonna call you out, and then when you come in, you know, just like what Pat McAfee's doing. There's no way you can tell me. And as a matter of fact, today Triple H reposted Pat McAfee saying that Cody broke into his place and tore it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all part of the angle. Now, whether they go full bore into it or they just make it up until WrestleMania, we'll know. Because remember, if Randy Orton loses now, Pat McAfee can no longer show up at WWE.
Yeah, I don't see Cody
No.
winning, bro.
No, I don't. And again, the way they're building this up, they shouldn't win. The Evil Empire has to make the first strike. And then you build it back up from the bottom. That's the way, this works out. Again, if you're just trying to get to WrestleMania and make it go, then this stuff makes no sense. But if you continue it on and you build, and again, maybe Ari Emanuel's not the guy. Maybe they make it a TKO suit or whatever you want to do.
They bring The Rock.
There has to be a representation of TKO and Ari Emanuel. You could do the whole Randy Orton thing on the phone. What was that, Mr. Manuel? What do you want us to do? Okay, no problem. Paul, go to the ring. Tell them what Mr. Manuel wants. Okay, Paul Heyman goes to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. TKO brings you whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got guys there in place that already hated that you can add to. Trick Williams, perfect person for Team TKO. Why? Because he's movie star ability. He's Hollywoodish. I would not. Well, we'll do this when we get into our picks. But it's got to be, and then, like you said, in order to fight the power has to be in power first. That's what you got to do if you want this to work. If not, then it's the same stuff. And again, you got the heat off of Triple H for 3 or 4 weeks leading up to WrestleMania, and it means nothing.
Now, question: if they go with the storyline that you say they might go, and it sounds really good, like people are saying, "Yo, Sean is already planning War Games already with this," and they still maintain the ticket sales this expensive, do you feel that they'll be able to win over the audience in order for them to still go ahead and now purchase these tickets? Because right now, the story is, hey, booking sucks. I'm not gonna. They're trying to blow this up as much as they could, and they're giving discounts here and there to try to make as much as they can from the tickets they weren't able to sell. But that's not gonna change the story. The fans are still not gonna pay a buku money for WrestleMania. They're not gonna pay for SummerSlam. They're not gonna pay for all that stuff. So will this storyline be enough to convince me and you, the Joe Schmo who is not rich, but we work hard and we make some bread, and then we're like, hey, I'm gonna save up to go to WrestleMania. I'm gonna save up and go to SummerSlam. I'm gonna save up and go to Survivor Series because the storyline makes sense and it's intriguing, and I think I'm bought in. Do you think this storyline will get the fans to do that if they keep everything the same, price is the same, and nothing's changed? Only that the storyline now goes like, "Hey, TKO's the evil empire."
Um, yes and no if you work it out. This is the only reason I say yes and no, because when Vince did hike up, and again, he didn't hike him up as much. I'm not saying he hiked them up what TKO did. But during a time when he hiked them up for a WrestleMania, there was an organic movement going on. And I talked about this, and I joined, I looked it up, the Cajun Turnbuckle podcast to talk about WrestleMania 30.
Okay.
This was the WrestleMania that started the Yes movement. Well, the Yes movement was kind of going, but solidified it.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Vince and them do? They made the fans a part of it. And the fans flocked to it. They didn't mind that they put up the price. And again, not astronomical like what TKO's doing. So again, a little bit different. But ultimately, if you make the fans feel like, again, Pat McAfee on Friday night, think about this. He said, I'm going to help you fans out because CM Punk ain't going to do it for you. So I went to my sponsors, Dodge Trucks, and they're going to cover 25% of the tickets for you right now if you order tickets before the end of SmackDown.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Now, what happens if other people decide to do that? For instance, this SmackDown, the first hour, 25% off, brought to you by whatever, Jimmy John's. I don't know. And then, again, but you're getting sponsors, and they'll be saying your name over and over. Again, more money for TKO, but technically you've lowered the prices 25%, even though the prices have been raised up 6,000%. So it doesn't really, but you think the fans are getting it. Now you do a match, and you say, okay, Randy Orton and Roman Reigns versus CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. If Cody and CM Punk win, tickets for the summer tour go down to whatever. Or for all the events through the summer, go down to whatever pricing. Now you technically bring them down, but then you can technically raise them back up. So you can play with it, but I think if you can get the fans invested and they feel like they did, like when Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call them, became the Yes movement, and they felt like they were a part of this, they will pay. Again, not these maybe astronomical prices they're doing there, but they'll pay a little more.
Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to this WrestleMania, I think it's too late for people to buy
Oh no, yeah.
tickets. So I
Also,
think,
remember what No Doubt said, because now what are you doing? You're fighting the power. You're fighting TKO. I'm gonna be there to voice my displeasure with this, but you're really paying price for the tickets, right? I mean, it's like what was it when the A's were moving? Fans were like, "We're gonna show them. We're gonna sell out the stadium now, and we're gonna do a sit-in, and we'll stay in for an hour after the game ends." Okay, that's the most tickets of people that have ever been there.
and they eventually moved.
And they moved. So, but it's like, they felt like they were a part of it. When you make people feel like they're into this, sometimes price doesn't mean as much as you think because they feel like they're fighting for something. They're a part of this fight.
I
They're a
just,
part of this fight
I,
with WWE.
I just,
Although I will not be a part of this fight for a
Yeah,
$25,000 front row seat. Ain't no damn way.
I just don't. I don't know which wrestling fan would feel that way. Like
Oh.
I wouldn't. I mean, I
Dude,
love wrestling, but I'm
think
not
about
paying
this.
that buku money. No matter if I'm fighting the power, I'll fight from home. Let's
The
go.
craziest thing for me, Frankie, is the fact that everybody's going, "Oh, they didn't sell 40,000 to night one. They sold 39,882 tickets. Do you know how much money that probably brought in?
Oh, buku money, bro.
Probably as much money as the 40, 45, 50,000 that was there last year. Because now the prices are so much higher. Like, they don't have to get the same amount when you draw up the pricing. Like, we don't need to have that much anymore. And on night two, they added 2,000 more seats when they finally got to the 42. Instead of saying, hey, we're good. No, they added 2,000 more. And and now they're selling those. Like,
But here's my thing. If you go ahead and you did all these moves and you generated all this money, what's gonna happen? Well, next year supposedly it's supposed to WrestleMania is not gonna be here in the States, but when
I think
they
it's coming back. I think it'll be here.
maybe because of the whole situation
Yeah,
with the war and all that
yeah.
stuff, but how are they gonna top this? Like, how are you gonna top this financial gain? Because you just said it, 38,000 seats sold on Saturday, and they probably made all that night one with what they made last year on both nights. So it's like, how are you gonna top that? Like, how are you going to? Because you don't want to give that impression and be like, oh, I'm selling the tickets for this amount of money, and then all of a sudden next year, oh, we didn't generate the same amount, so
Yeah.
it's a hit on us. You got to make more money. That's the goal. You set yourself goals. So I don't know how they're gonna top it, bro, and that's
The
scary.
way
part.
you do it, honestly, is, and again, I don't know that they'll do it, and I know a lot of people don't want to see it, is you bring The Rock back and you have the internal strife all year long, and you run Roman versus Rock to headline night 2 of whatever the next pay-per-view is going to be of the WrestleMania. Because people will pay, not me, not you, not probably people that are in our chat, but they will pay to see The Rock versus Roman. That's been the match that everybody.
And you got to move WrestleMania out of Vegas. You can't run
Oh no,
Vegas
you
again
can't
for a
run
third
Vegas
year.
again. No. And again, the only reason they ran Vegas again was because it's their home. I think they thought they would be they are able to control costs because TKO is in Vegas. So to them, it's not as much as logistically planning a 2 nights, and now you've got to get hotel, because I guarantee you they probably have worked out a deal with wherever the headquarters of the hotel that are staying at. They're not paying full price for those rooms. They're not doing, because everything's through the UFC, TKO, all that stuff helps run kind of some of the tourism there in Vegas most of the time. So they get deals there to where now you don't have to do it in some place and you're doing all this time. They know all the media and everything outlets there. So when they're doing media in town, everything's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's very simple for them in Vegas, which is why I think, for them it was like, okay, maybe we don't make as much as last year, but I don't think they took into consideration the builds for a lot of this stuff. There was not a lot of good builds. There wasn't, until you got to maybe the Royal Rumble. And by then, look, you had the Cody chase, which led, and look, you added The Rock in and everything else, and then that blew it up. That exploded it. But there still was the chase for Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Then last year you had Cena's final WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That sells itself. What on this WrestleMania sells itself? There's some good matches. There's matches I might want to see, but there's nothing that says I have to go watch that. It's a quote unquote once in a lifetime moment.
Although if you look at the card is stacked compared to last year.
It's a great card. I'm not saying, but again, if I miss Jade versus Rhea, I'll probably be able to watch it again somewhere down the line. It's not a Cena's last WrestleMania. It's not The Rock coming back to team with Roman to verse Cody and Seth.
But
Because now you have Roman and Seth versing each other. The Shield finally exploding. You had all that paying off, and The Rock was there. The Undertaker comes out. Cena comes out. I mean, you had this whole medley of stuff, and then you still had the next night Cody finishing his story. Finally, after 2 years.
But here's the thing. I kind of look at it as like a UFC card, right? When you have a UFC card that's stacked, you're more prone to go. Even though there isn't, obviously, UFC doesn't have storylines, but if you have a stacked card, why won't I go and pay to go see it? Because that's a once in a lifetime that I'm going to be able to see all these wrestlers wrestle on one night. All these wrestlers are legit. And all these matches, I don't know if I'm ever going to see, again, Roman versus CM Punk. I don't know if I'm going to see Cody versus Randy Orton. I mean, they're up there in age. You might see them, you might not. Or at least say, hey, I'm going to be able to see Roman versus CM Punk and Cody versus Orton in Vegas. That's what I paid for. That's cool. instead of me having to go travel and see it. Maybe I don't know a backlash here in Miami or something, and then another pay-per-view later on, Survivor Series or something like that, and I have to travel somewhere else. That's why I felt like it was a bargain at the end of the day. If you had the money, it makes sense because you get to watch a stacked card. If
Yeah,
you
but if you
compare
have the
this
money,
card,
it's not an issue. If you have
no,
the money to just be like, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas for a weekend, this is the place to go. I mean, honestly, it is because it's the whole weekend. It's the whole week of WWE shows and indie shows, and it's a wrestling fan's dream. Honestly, if you really follow a lot of the stuff that goes on in wrestling, the indies and everything else, you're going to get to go to the conventions that are there. You're going to get to meet a lot of the indie talent that you normally wouldn't, or you'd have to go to 4 or 5 different indie shows to try to get. They're all going to be under one roof throughout this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So like that is what, sells a lot of this to wrestling fans. The WrestleMania was the cherry on the top before. Now the cherry on the top costs more than the whole damn cake.
all right. Now that we talked about the storyline, we talked about the hype on this WrestleMania card. Right before we go into our predictions, this wasn't a topic in it, but I want to bring it up. There is some talent that did not make it into WrestleMania, and that talent is very, very stacked. So let's go with some people out there. Io Sky, very well known. She was the champion last year. She didn't make it to WrestleMania.
So far.
I don't think she's gonna make it because they would have already they would have done it. I think, in my opinion, they would have done it on Monday. That they would have done her against Asuka, but they didn't announce anything. And I heard there were rumors saying that they scrapped it, that they weren't gonna do that.
There's 2 matches that are being debated right now, on my understanding.
Which are, and I know you're drinking.
Asuka Io, Julia Tiffany.
Do you really think they're gonna put Julia and Tiffy time in?
Julia was originally scheduled to be on WrestleMania in a triple threat match, but Jordan Grace got hurt, and they scrapped it. Now there's been talk of bringing back, but again, you have the women's tag team on one show. You have the title on. You have the 2 titles, AJ Lee and Becky, and then you have Jade and Rhea. So,
I mean, I'm.
do they do a 0 hour
Well, look,
and throw some matches on there?
the Sunday night's card, it's only Rhea Ripley versus Jake Cargo. That's the only women's match. But on night 1, you have 3. You have the Valkyrie Morgan, Lynch, Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, and then you got the tag team one. So you got 3. So you're right, they could, but if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 matches on Saturday
and 7 on Sunday.
and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 on Sunday.
I thought they said there was 14 matches right now.
Unless I'm missing
Was
a
there
match.
8 on Saturday and 6 on Sunday?
No, there's so these are the matches I got. And correct me if I'm wrong, because this was unless they added something on Monday. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, that's Saturday. This is all the Saturday ones. Vaquer versus Morgan, Seth versus Gunther, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, the women's tag team championship match, Jacob Fatu versus McIntyre, and the trios match between Ishol Speed and the Vision against the Usos and LA Knight. That's your 7 matches on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we got the ladder match, Lesnar versus Obafemi, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, Jake Cargo versus Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio versus Demon Ballard, and Punk versus Reigns. Am I missing one on Sunday?
Did you have Sammy and Trick? You said that, right?
Yeah.
No, I guess you're right. I don't know. I thought
because you're right.
14.
If you say that, if you're gonna add
So
one
they might
more,
be adding another match.
it has to be.
Card,
It would have to be on SmackDown then.
Yeah.
It would have to, because on Sunday you're
But
not.
you could still run EO because EO's going to be there to be with Rhea because Rio's Io is Rhea's backhand person, so maybe they do something where Asuka comes out, because remember, Io lost to Kairi Sane because of Asuka
Yes.
on Raw. So
Yes.
maybe, something happens and something goes on there, and then Io versus Asuka gets added into. I would prefer Io Asuka over Julia Tiffany with no build. I mean, because that's already been built, is what I'm saying. Julia Tiffany feels like it's just thrown in there.
Well,
I know they fought on SmackDown and everything else, but it just feels like a thrown in match. Whereas Io Asuka, to me, deserve a WrestleMania chance.
Well, if there's two people that deserve to be in WrestleMania, in my opinion, it would obviously be Io, and then obviously Tiffany, because they've been having a hell of they were there last year, so leaving them both out kind of sounds disappointing. It seems like, hey, this kind of sucks that they're not gonna be there. But again, like you said, they might add them at the last minute and just bring them in, you know. But
They could do a gauntlet match like what AEW does and do it like a number one contenders match. Io, Asuka, Julia. I don't know. You throw every couple women in there to have one more women's match in, and then you make the final four become Io, Asuka, Tiffany, Julia, whatever you want to do. But they're probably going to add one more women's match. I would believe to Sunday's card.
And then the other questionable thing that's going on is there was reports of a photo showing that Nikki Bella, her ankle's messed up, that she's wearing a boot. Now again, here where is that kayfabe? Is it true? Is she really injured, or are they
Yeah.
milking this to
Well,
kind of
no, I
like?
mean she's really injured, but now you keep the boot on so that by the time you get to Saturday night, you'll know as soon as she gets there that day whether it can go or not. You're not letting her walk around without the boot right now, because if she steps wrong or something else, all the treatments or whatever you've done to try to get her to this point are for naught. Now, if she can't go, it probably just turns into a triple threat.
You don't think they'll stick somebody in there for
Uh,
Brie Bella to help her out and still keep it as a four way between those girls?
what do you put in there with Brie though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who could help her,
I mean,
and
I
who
guess you could just throw somebody in there if you want to throw Tiffany in there.
you
If
could
they do Io Asuka, you throw Tiffany in there. I don't know.
Who has been a
And
friend of Nikki Bella outside of when Stephanie, like when they had that, they were friends. I don't remember who else can be somebody. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I
you could
mean,
do Natalia Natty or whatever, but now she's doing the Natty Neidhart instead of Natalia. I mean, Maxine Dupree, you throw her in there. I mean, they're
no,
not going to win
you do
probably.
not put a Maxine Dupree
Yeah, you do. You put her in there and get beat up.
into a WrestleMania. Get the hell out of here. I prefer them to bring in this girl, Kiana James. Even though she's in SmackDown, I'd rather have her out there. I would not want to see Maxine Dupree. Don't give me Maxine Dupree. Don't give me B-Fab. Don't give me any of those women.
To be honest, they should just drop it. They should drop the two out of the match. Brie and Nikki, you don't get your WrestleMania moment, and you're out. You've already had WrestleMania moments. You don't need this. I mean,
That takes a shot. I mean, the only thing, yeah, you could kind of get away with if you bring up a girl from NXT. But I mean, I was thinking that they were gonna bring in JC Jane, but JC Jane looks like
yeah, but
she's
that
still
just
in a
feels
feud.
so like AEW ish.
To bring in a woman up.
To just throw, hey, Bree, you haven't been around forever. You came back because you wanted to team up with your sister, but your sister's injured. So hey, here's this person from NXT.
I mean,
Like,
she still
it
gets.
just doesn't make sense to me. It's at a WrestleMania. Now, if it's a backlash and you want to start a show from that or something from there, maybe. But like, it's just easier to be like, because of Nikki's injury, she can't perform
I guess. I
when
mean,
the
I don't know.
bellows are removed. And then if for some reason it's better, then they get a title match the night after Raw because they're deserved of a match since they were in this. But the injury, however you want to look at it, I don't think you just now if you want to bring up, and this might be part of the thing. This would be interesting, but usually the Raw after WrestleMania is when they'll do the JC Jane debut or something. But if you did like Io, Asuka, Tiffany, and you had one mystery, and you brought JC Jane into that, to make a debut. Maybe something like that. But
Or maybe you could. Maybe I don't know how. I mean, I saw her at Coachella. Maybe Chelsea Green. She's walking around.
yeah, I mean, you know what? I could probably see her more as putting herself not like. What'd be interesting is like Brie, like, well, if I don't have Nikki, I'm not gonna be in the match, and then Chelsea being like, you don't need Nikki, you got me, and forcing herself in to be her tag team partner. Where Brie, I could see something like Chelsea could fall into that just because of the way her gimmick is,
Yeah.
and it works.
Because she's a fan favorite too.
It is forcing a square into a round hole, but it still makes sense because of what Chelsea Green's character is, and Nikki can do it, or Brie can do it out of like, I don't want to tag you in because you're not my partner, and then they just do all the things where they shouldn't be a team, but it works out that way.
Okay.
You know what we can do? Actually, let's do this because the first graphic I have up for our picks is the women's 4-way.
Can the women do it? Oh, so we're ready. We're ready to do our picks. Yes, this is the moment all you guys been waiting for, right? We've been waiting for this. And what's up, Michael? I see you as well. Thank you for tuning in as well and watching.
Hey, Michael, how you doing, sir?
That's a new. I think that's a new
New name, I believe,
watcher.
yeah.
I've never seen you before, so thank you for joining, and thank you if you
Appreciate you, sir.
give us a like as well on the show, and all you guys, again, if you're tuning in doing our predictions right now, hit that like and hit that subscribe on both of our channels, the Frankie Frasco and the Stanley Media House one. All right, sir. How are we gonna do this? We'll do one like I'll do one, and then the next match you pick first and stuff like that.
Okay, all right, we'll go that route. Yeah, we'll go that route.
So,
All right.
who do you want? You want to go first on this one, or do you want me to go?
I'll go first on this one. I think if they take the titles off of Lash Legend and Nia Jax, it's a travesty. I think they should. I'm not saying they got to dominate in here, but they need to walk out of WrestleMania still tag team champions. If not, it doesn't matter what the TKO thing is. Triple H, you suck.
So you're going with Lash Legend and
Lash Legend and Nia retain, yes.
Okay, look, I already made this decision. I'm not gonna get all the fights correct. That's just,
I'm going now 13-0. I thought I was going 14-0, but apparently it was only 13, so I can't go 14-0.
I'm not gonna go 13-0. I'll probably go 12-1. And the reason I'm gonna go 12-1 is because there's no way in hell I'm not gonna choose the Bellas to win. Those are my girls. I want to see Nikki Bella. I want to see Brie Bella win. They're the underdogs. Nobody expects them to win. I feel like all these girls are going to be duking each other out. And if some way, somehow, even if, you know what, at this point, bring out Nikki Bella with a messed up foot and let her go ahead and sneak in and get the win that way. Do it. Do it, WWE. Give the Bellas the win. Or piss
You know
off
what,
people.
though, Frankie, you come up with a good idea there. They bring them out, and they're sitting there like they're the announce team, with the announce team doing the match. Everybody goes down, and, they go in and make the pin. I mean, again, you want them to be heelish. That would be a heel-ass move. That would be something. That'd be interesting, actually.
So I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to pick the Bellas. I see it in my Bellas. I got to go with the Bellas. They're hot. They're smoking hot. I can't. Even if I go 12-1, that I don't mind going 12-1 if I pick
Going with the Bellas because you see it in your belly. I see it in my belly.
I'm going with the Bellas because I see the Bellas in my bed.
Ah, well, all right. And on that case, Frankie's taking 2 L's in this match. All right, here we go. The sixth man is the next match. It will be Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed, who was training this week on Raw, against the Usos and LA Knight, who picked up a victory this week over the MFTs. Frankie Fresco,
a random
you get to go first.
All right, man. I'm a little bit. Yeah. Oh man. I don't like the Usos. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I don't like Jey Uso. I like and I think LA Knight always loses, but he randomly won. And I Show Speed is out there, and I think the Vision needs this win. And at the same time, I don't know if they're gonna include Dan Housing in this. I think I'm gonna go on a limb. I want to say that the Vision is gonna win, but what throws me off is LA Knight. If the Usos were by themselves, even if it was 2 against 3, I think the Usos would win. But because LA Knight is so always losing, there's a very good chance that they're gonna lose again. I'm gonna go and say, you know what? I'm gonna. It's hard. I'm gonna pick the Usos. I'll say the Usos and LA Knight find a way to win this. Book it. Screw it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way around. I agree with you, man. I mean, the Vision just won the tag titles. I Show Speed's going to have a great showing because that's what they usually do with the celebrities. They get them in there and they do something that you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. But ultimately, I think it comes down to the Usos and LA Knight, unless Jay gets mad and walks out on LA Knight and they leave LA Knight in there to take on everybody, because I still feel like there's something more there. I don't know when they're going to pull that Band-Aid and rip it off and everything goes on there. But I'm going to go with you, man. I think you're going to get LA Knight and the Usos winning here.
I mean, there's a very good chance that maybe Bronson Reed comes back. Maybe
I
I haven't heard anything of
then
his
that becomes
injury.
a disqualification if he interferes, and they'd still win. So technically, we'd still be right. But I'm gonna go LA Knight and the Usos, I think, with this one,
Yeah, I think so.
because I think it would be a good win for them, and then also you could still keep the Usos against the Vision of Theory and Logan Paul for a little bit going on to maybe the next main event or whatever as we go. Next match, I get to go first.
Mm-hmm.
It is the unsanctioned match. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. And let me tell you something. If Marina Shafir never wins, Drew McIntyre never wins, especially when it's unsanctioned. So I think this is going to be a hell of a fight, very physical, but I think Jacob Fatu gets the WrestleMania moment in this one, and I think this is the springboard to bigger things after he does the springboard moonsault and pins Drew McIntyre through a table, by the way.
So you got Jacob. Man, this one's another tough one because I really do like Jacob, and I really do feel like he is gonna win this match. But Drew just finished losing to Cody. He lost a match to Cody. He lost the belt to Cody. Does he deserve to get a back-to-back L's? I don't know. I'm a little bit 50-50 on this one, but it's unsanctioned. I'm trying to think anybody else can get involved with Jacob. I mean,
Well, they did do the MFTs this week.
They
Kinda
did.
teased that a little bit with him and Tama and some things there. I mean, again, I don't know if they're going to pull that cord or not, but
But remember, we always overthink it, right? We always
yeah,
think
no,
it's gonna be like somebody's gonna
100%.
get
I'm going to
interfered
go
with.
0-14 in this for real. I think I'm going to go 14-0, but because I overthink it and I add stuff and I put my own little wrinkle into it, I never win.
This is a tough one. I gotta agree with you. If there's one person that could take L's and it won't hurt him, it's Drew McIntyre. Look, he took an L with Cody and he's still in WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go with the same. I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu wins this one.
Because he always cries where it's not his fault. He's the perfect heel.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't lose. The ref counted too fast. I didn't lose. The guy didn't change the ropes correctly. Whatever it is, he's that perfect person. It's never his fault.
Look, we
And
got
he,
Eric Murias.
and he believes it. So, all right, here's the next one. Oh,
So shut up.
Eric's in.
Yeah, Eric Murias goes. I don't care who wins, but this needs to be Peter Griffin versus the Chicken and Family Guy times 10.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I mean,
I-
hopefully it lives up to expectation, right? It's unsanctioned.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it's an unsanctioned WWE match, so let that be what it is. This isn't AEW. There's going to be no syringes. There's going to be no, I mean, so we'll see. But again, he did handcuff Jacob Fatu, reminiscent of when they did that to Roman and made him eat the dog food and then all that other stuff. So, like, there's a lot of things here to where they got to go full bore. And the other problem they're going to have is this. This match will be on ESPN2.
That is true. It actually
that-
is the opener, right? It's one of the
Take
opener matches.
Take that for what it is. Yes, it is. The two matches on the ESPN2 are Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, and the 6-man tag match.
Interesting. All right. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Look, man, AJ Lee has been going ahead and ripping her a new one, obviously saying to her that Becky's daughter's favorite wrestler is not Becky Lynch, but it's AJ Lee. And, it just... AJ Lee just became champion. I think she's only defended the belt once, maybe. I think only once. I think she's only defended it once, if I'm not mistaken. I wish Becky would win this, but I don't know. Something's telling me that they're gonna give this to AJ Lee again. So I'm gonna say I might be wrong on this, but I'm gonna go with AJ Lee.
Well, buddy, I'd hate to tell you this, but if you're wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think there's any way AJ Lee does not leave Vegas as the Intercontinental Women's Champion. Because, again, if Becky is the baby in this, I think it's the reverse. But with AJ Lee being the baby, I think she has to leave Vegas the champion. And I think then you reset Becky to move on to something else. And then AJ can move on to something else as well. And ultimately, we'll see where it goes, where that goes. Because to me, the one thing that really hurt this feud was Seth's injury. Because I think they could have played the Seth CM Punk. Not that I know CM Punk was going to verse Roman Reigns, but at least you could have had that energy from that feud going more into this, where it's really felt like, I mean, again, this is the one match where so far, and unless they do something on SmackDown, there's really not been much altercation.
That is true.
Where everyone else has been fighting and punching and whatever else, this one has not had much altercation. Now, they've had jabs, mental jabs. I'm your daughter's favorite wrestler. Things like that. They've had the mental jabs, but no physicality. So interesting, and I think it's going to be AJ Lee in this.
Yeah.
Eric says AJ Lee winning only makes sense if she drops the title. The Raw after Mania either. You know what would be funny?
That's not that bad of an idea, Eric.
No, remember this. WrestleMania 30, AJ Lee beat 13 other women at WrestleMania. The next night on Raw, Paige debuted and beat AJ Lee for the Divas Championship.
The only thing, Eric, is that
can history repeat itself?
The problem is if you're reading into NXT and you're tuning in. Now, I didn't watch NXT yesterday, but based on what I've seen, it looks like Sol Ruka's still in that feud with Saraya.
Casey Jane would be the one that gets the call up because she lost clean to Lola Vice
yesterday
on NXT. Yeah.
Okay, so she lost yesterday to Lola Vice.
She lost her rematch to Lola Vice.
Okay. I didn't watch yesterday's NXT, so I recorded it, but I haven't watched it. So yeah, it would I guess it would make sense for Jordynne Grace to move up and then get a shot on Monday.
Not Jordynne Grace, JC Jane. Sorry.
I'm sorry, JC Jane. Sorry,
I say Jordynne Grace. Yeah,
I said Jordynne Grace because of the
No, but she's already there. But I think JC Jane would make sense because she's a heel.
Yes.
I think Sol would be, again, but that would be interesting though because
not a bad idea.
That would be 12 years apart. The Raw after WrestleMania, AJ Lee loses titles. So that'd be two an NXT call up because Paige was actually the NXT Women's Champion when she beat AJ Lee to become the Divas Champion at the time.
I like it, man. I think so. Now I feel more confident with my with my pick.
Now that I think about that, that'd be a good call. Either way, we win with AJ Lee winning. All right, the next match: Mr. Becky Lynch versus Gunther.
You picked this one now because I picked the last one.
Yeah, I think Gunther wins because I think Braun Breaker comes back. I think Braun Breaker interferes. There's been a lot of stuff all of a sudden popping up. Breaker's name being on things, whether whatever, however they want to do it. Usually when this happens, they're I think it only makes sense because you're not Gunther can't lose this after retiring Cena, retiring AJ Styles, and then lose. I mean, I get it. It's Seth Rollins, it's Seth freaking Rollins, but it makes no sense with the deck stacked against. And again, maybe this is where it's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. If Bronson Reed's there as well, the Vision takes out, Seth because of the Masked Man angle and all that stuff. But I got Gunther winning this one in the end.
We are in sync, bro. Like, I agree with you. I don't see any. I feel like Gunther losing hurts him. That's the thing because they had to pivot, right? They had to change his whole. Yo, I'm a legend killer. So letting Seth beat him kind of hurts his deal. But Paul Heyman getting involved, that's the sticky situation because Paul Heyman could bring in there, and but again, it would be all in favor of Gunther. Like what you
Yeah.
said, we're Braun Breaker. So I agree. I just don't see how Seth can pull this off. I think at the end of the day, Gunther wins this.
I think the only way you save both of them is having Braun Breaker take out Seth and Gunther get the whether it's him spearing Seth outside, rolling him back in, and Gunther putting on the sleeper, but Seth's so injured that he just goes out and the ref calls for the bell. Whatever it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a clean win for Gunther because I think you got to protect Seth in this as well.
Yes.
And now you move on. But I think
You build up Braun Breaker and Seth for the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's a good idea. I like it.
All right, next match.
Ooh, this was a spicy one. This is Stephanie Valkyria, Triple H's favorite, versus I think the only other woman in WWE Monday Night Raw that could beat Stephanie Valkyria. Now, question: Did she clear? Did she cure concussion? Is she good to go?
Nothing's been said, bro. Nothing's been said.
At this point, I think she probably isn't going to be cleared, and they're just going to make her clear, and they're just going to have this match. I don't think they're going to give a damn. I think they're going to do this one way or the other. So this is another one where we're like 50-50 if we're going to get Liv out there. But look, man, I like Stephanie Valkyria. I think she's had a hell of a run for herself. I don't think they've done a good job on it, but I think she's had a hell of a run when it comes to the wrestling. I love the build-up. They've been going at it. I think there's a little bit of beef outside of the wrestling ring with these two girls, but it's one of the. This one is the one that I'm more excited about than any of the other women's matches. As long as Liv can clear protocol, but Liv just came out with a music video, bro, like with a song and everything. How can I not choose Liv Morgan? I think this is the best time to give her the belt again, and then you could run this back. You could still build up of it because this is the first time that they're going at it, and there's so much heat that I wouldn't be surprised if they want to run it back. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say Liv Morgan wins this one.
Yeah, I think there's going to be shenanigans in this. The fact that they put Dom on Sunday and not on Saturday tells me that there's probably going to be something involving him here in this match. I'm torn on this because for the same reason you said Liv could win because then they could run it back. I feel like she could lose, not necessarily like Stephanie, like, beat her clean, but shenanigans or whatever, and Stephanie catches her with something, then they could run it back again also. I'm so torn on this one because I feel like it could go both ways. You know what? Just to be different and to change some stuff, I'm going to go Stephanie in this because, again, I think, as I just said, I think you could run it back because you could have, and this is another thing that I keep thinking about is you've got the Roxanne, you've got Raquel, one of them make a mistake and cost Liv the match. Now you have that, and you know what I'm saying? Like you have other ways to go. What happens to Stephanie once she loses the belt? And she's not the champion. Is there a feud waiting for her And again, you could do it the same way with Roxanne and Raquel costing her the match, and then one of those two could be her feud. So there's so many different ways, but I'll go Stephanie keeping the belt at WrestleMania, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong, or probably wrong, but to me, I would love to see Liv win it.
Same.
But I just feel like the way they've built up Stephanie so much, like they've almost made her not beatable in a way. But again, now you've got Raquel, Roxanne, Dom. I don't know if JD will get involved. You know, you've got Judgment Day to where it's not just Liv beating Stephanie, but the whole Judgment Day. So we'll see where it goes. But I'll go Stephanie. You got Liv. So there's our first real big disagreement there.
Who are you talking about? We had the Bellas.
Other than the women's tag match is what I was going to go to. But, you cut me off before I could say it. All right, man.
Well, hold on. Before you continue,
Yep.
I do want to say this. WrestleMania 41, Becky Lynch and Liva Valkyria defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So that would mean that Liv Morgan would take back-to-back losses if that does come into fruition where Stephanie wins.
Yep. And that's if Liv makes it.
That's another question, man. Now, let's just play hypothetical here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Liv for some reason can't make it. She's not cleared. We spoke about this. Do you still agree, or do you have any other replacement person you could put in here? Maybe an EO.
That's what I was about to say. EO.
Maybe
on Raw. It's Raw, right? It's Raw. So EO makes perfect sense. And then if you wanted to do it that way, Asuka costs her the title or whatever, and now you still keep that going as well. And I think EO would be a good match for Stephanie. Or if you wanted to throw Asuka because you wanted to heel and have EO cost, but EO coming out the cost, that's not a babyface move. But there might be enough animosity between her and Asuka to where if I'm not winning the title, or throw them both in there, EO, Asuka versus Stephanie, triple threat.
All right, so you hypothetical EO for you, and mine already. It's Raquel. I say Raquel in there and have her get in there, and then obviously some way somehow get Roxanne Perez involved as well, since she's gonna be out there and see how they make this happen. So,
which again is a good call too. I mean, because you have built-in stories either way you go that way. You have a built-in story in the match with Asuka, EO, and Stephanie because of the Asuka EO thing. And then if it is Raquel and she does beat Stephanie, you'll have a story with Liv being out. And the reason you won, it was because I couldn't fight. And you could, again, do that whole thing that we were hope was going to happen. So we'll see. Yeah, Eric, I think you're going to get Asuka EO in a match at WrestleMania. That's my personal opinion. There's 6 matches on Sunday, 7 on Saturday. So I think a match gets added on Sunday. We'll see. Maybe they're holding out to find out if Liv gets cleared before they do anything because they want to make sure they don't handcuff themselves into a match and then might need somebody to help out at the end of the
maybe they bring Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I'll let it sit.
Those fans will be ecstatic.
Oh. All right, the main event, night 1. It is the man who broke into Pat McAfee's office. It's on CCTV, but he's not going to be arrested because he's Cody Rhodes. And he takes on Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in the corner. The stipulation basically, if Cody wins, Pat McAfee will never be around WWE again. If Randy Orton wins, of course, he becomes the heavyweight champion. Is it my turn to go first? You already know my pick. I wanted to roll the way I wanted to roll. TKO all the way, baby. Randall Keith Orton, RKO. Welcome to what? This will be 16 times or 15 times?
I think it's 16.
Yeah, welcome to your 16-time heavyweight champion, sir.
I mean the stipulation, man. That makes it very difficult for us to pick Cody because of the stipulation. Like, why would you get rid of Pat McAfee if this storyline was just maybe not what we're hoping for, or maybe not gonna be blown up like you said it was, or possibility it could be? you still like Pat McAfee and you like him as a freaking announcer. I like him as an announcer. And there's too much hype, too much heat on Pat McAfee right now. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't want to see him. They boo him. He's getting a lot of boos. It just makes perfect sense for Randy Orton to win this. Like he deserves it. Just Cody could take the L, and then like you've always said, I feel like Cody is better chasing than being the champion, right?
Right.
So, in my opinion, I gotta agree with you. That was gonna be my pick all the day, and it's Randy. I say Randy finally wins again, and then he's probably the one of the faces for the TKO brand.
Marcus, how we doing, sir? He's with the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast. We did a WrestleMania 30. We broke that down this week. The episode will drop tomorrow. I just found out. So there you go. Catch that out. That'll be dropping tomorrow. And make sure you go over there and check out his whole podcast. He's got a lot of stuff going on over there. Eric, Randy is getting 15, but there has to be some crazy. Oh, no,
Correct.
I think
It's number
I think
15. I
okay,
just
either
verified.
way, 15, 16, whatever. But there's swerves going to be happening in this match, and I don't mean a bunch of swerve, whose house? No, not Swerve Strickland. But yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of stuff happening in this match where it's kind of like, oh, okay. Or you might just get one big swerve at the end. To be honest with you, you know who I think the swerve's going to be?
Who?
Jelly Roll.
You think Jelly Roll turns heel?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I think TKO is going to become the Hollywood conglomeration. That's why I think Trick Williams fits in to the TKO thing because he's Hollywood.
So you're saying that they should bring also Lil Yachty?
Well, Little Yachty's with who? Trick Williams, right? There you go.
I hate Lil Yachty, bro. That guy sucks. He has such a
I could not find a good picture for him, so he got the picture I got for him. So
he's so bad. Like he sounds horrible on the mic. I don't know why they brought him, but that has to be ridiculous.
But I think because when I watched it back, and I watched it a couple times, I mean, they knocked him off the apron, right?
Wait,
Did they ever hit him anywhere else?
did you wait? Before you
He was
continue,
laid out in the back. He was dragged out. He gets up on the apron. They hit him. And then when they leave, they walk by and he's like, he shouldn't have been there. Like, I just feel like they're setting this up to where Jelly Roll becomes a heel.
wait, I have an idea. There is somebody who's gonna get involved, and this person showed up multiple times on SmackDown. Every single time Pat McAfee was around, and that is Aleister Black. He was in the background in a lot of those
Yeah,
backstage moments
yeah.
where he was there. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they include Aleister into this match.
Possibly because remember, he was the one that started this whole thing. The voices in your head, talking to people. That was all the Aleister Black thing that got this rolling.
And you know Triple H likes some Aleister Black.
Oh, yeah, buddy. If it's not Stephanie Vaquer, it's Aleister Black.
Those guys are the one. Those two are the ones that he really enjoys. So I think maybe there's a connection there, and maybe you could have Aleister Black
Oh,
get
look at
involved.
that. Eric said CinemaCon is going on this week in Vegas. Also, The Rock is in attendance for a bunch of his movies.
Wow. And you
I'm
know,
telling you, I think The Rock comes out with Roman and at some point. I'm not saying he's going to come out in whatever, but I think The Rock will be the focal point for the TKO group with Ari Emanuel and all that stuff. I mean, it just makes sense with the way they've told the story. The way Rock, he was my agent, then we became friends, and now, he wanted me on the board because of this. And when he was going to buy, he called me and asked me what I thought. Like, there's just a lot of backstory that can connect everything. Whether that was originally the plan or not, there's a lot of backstory that just brings all this in. Ari Emanuel represents Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee's going to be leaving ESPN, going to Netflix in 2 years or so. Like, there's just so much going on here. If you don't use it, it's a crime. It really is a crime. This stuff is just falling in your lap.
and they're not Tony Khan. So,
Yeah.
you know. I like it. I like it.
All right.
I think we're good. I think we're so.
That's
re-
Saturday night.
let's
Saturday.
recap Saturday.
Yep.
You picked Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I picked the Bellas. We both picked LA Knight and the Usos. Jacob Fatu. We both picked. We both picked AJ Lee. We both picked Gunther. Liv and Stephanie, and we picked Randy together. So there's only two different ones.
Yeah,
The women's and then the two women matches.
2 women matches. Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
the
we
only ones.
disagree.
All right,
Disagree.
cool.
We'll probably disagree on this one. This will open up the night, I believe. Or no, it's the second match on the card because Oba Lesnar's opening, but I already had this graphic up, so it will go first. The ladder match, Sunday, with what do we got? Dragon Lee, Rusev, Penta, Rey Mysterio, JD McDonough, Javon Evans. There's going to be a lot of high flying, a lot of ladder using. Who do you see actually finally coming out of this the winner?
Well, Rusev was kicking butt this past Monday. He was
Which is telling me he's not winning. That's why. That's why he got put over this Monday. So
yeah,
he's not winning this match.
he ain't winning that match. I man, this was a tough one, man. Okay, so let's start process of elimination. Rusev is not winning. If Dragon Lee wins, it's a crime. So I'm ruling him out of
Oh,
it.
he might be fighting for his buddy AJ Styles.
No. AJ Styles doesn't need him to fight his fights, you know? I'm just letting you know right
He
now.
does now. He's retired.
Jaden McDonough, I always said he's a dark horse, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna
He's a
gonna
wild
win it.
card to me. He's a
Yeah,
wild card. In this.
he's there, but I don't think he's gonna win it. So that leaves me with these three guys, which is Penta, Javon, and Rey Mysterio. And for me, I feel that Javon has a lot of potential. And I like Rey Mysterio because then all of a sudden, you know, Rey could have the belt. Then you bring in Gunther, and then Gunther, you know, there'll be a second reason for Gunther to go after Rey Mysterio besides retiring. Now he could get his IC belt back if he needs it. I mean, he has had the heavyweight, but he might get his IC back. And then Penta, he hasn't had a hell of a run. Like he just started being the IC champion. Dude, something in me tells me Javon Evans is gonna win this. So I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say Javon Evans becomes the new IC champion.
You know what's interesting here? I was the three guys. I have JD McDonough is my is the dark horse X factor because I wouldn't be upset if he won it. I don't know how they would
me
make
neither.
it
Yeah.
work, but I would not be upset with him. I believe Javon Evans is going to be the guy that just is doing everything off the ladder, but then hits one move and puts himself out of the match because he misses a big aerial move. So to me, it comes down to Rey Mysterio and Penta. And usually you do matches like this because you don't want Penta to get pinned.
Not Dragon Lee.
No, Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee's going to be dragged across the ring. That's what he's going to be doing. I think Rey Mysterio wins this.
Okay.
And I think on the Raw after WrestleMania, I believe his little bastard son, Dominic, comes out and becomes the Intercontinental Champion again, beating his daddy-o. And then they will lay it off with the Rey Mysterio Gunther thing. I don't think they need the Intercontinental title for Gunther to put the title back on him. I just don't think. I think you do something else to get it off of him. And to me, it makes sense for him to have one more run against Dom before he calls it done.
I like it. It's not bad. Look. I'll tell you this. The reason I think Javon Evans might win it is because I think they've been doing that with the USA belt on the opposite brand.
Oh no, he deserves it.
Carmelo,
I just think this
Ilya
is the
Dragunov?
perfect. Yeah, no, I think this is the perfect though where he looks like he's gonna win it, and then he goes to hit that the cutter off of a ladder or something. The guy moves and he crashes and burns himself through a ladder, taking himself out of the match. And then Ray or Penta go and get it. I think, look, I would love if Javon Evans wins it. I would love if JD McDonough wins it. But again, I go back to the story of where do they go from there? I mean, Penta keeps it. Of course, you can probably run it with JD McDonough if that's one of the guys. Javon Evans will always be there. But I just think, again, this is where I talk myself into stuff that won't happen. I think the cool thing would be on the Raw after Ray comes out as the champion, getting his celebration, his flowers. Dom's music hits. And Redemption he gets the IC title over his dad.
It's a good idea.
I would not be upset, Eric. As you said, I hope Evans wins. I would not be. Honestly, the only way I think I'm upset is if Dragon Lee wins.
I'm telling you, what if Dragon Lee
If
wins,
Dragon Lee
we
wins,
won't
I
watch
think I would be
WWE
like,
anymore.
what is going on there? Because even look, Rusev to me, I don't think he would win because of the thing. But again, I wouldn't be upset if he wins it. But I would be upset if Dragon Lee wins it. For
Yeah,
some reason,
I think Dragon Lee's the only
Lee's
one.
the only one in this match where if he wins it, I go,
What?
huh, okay.
But I mean, you could definitely say he's defending the honor of
Yeah.
AJ Styles. But
Yeah.
I feel like out of all of
Yeah.
them, he's like the
And
odd one
no
out.
doubt says it too. Again, you could run the same story. JD McDonough wins it, and Finn comes out the Raw after SmackDown or the Raw after WrestleMania and beats JD for the title.
That's a possibility.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, the stories for the Raw after WrestleMania, and then you get the feel good moment of them winning the belt there, but then the next night losing it. Usually that's more of a face thing to where the face gets the flowers, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're ripped away. That usually doesn't happen to a heel. That's why I could see it more for Mysterio. And then at the same time, Penta doesn't get pinned, but he loses the title because it's a ladder match, and there you go. We're good. All right, the match that will kick off Sunday on ESPN, the four-letter network, not ESPN2, because ESPN was so mad. They said, we got to get both nights of WrestleMania, but Saturday we got the drag races. We can't interrupt those, so we'll put you on ESPN2. ESPN on Sunday gets started with Oba and Brock Lesnar.
Well, sir, I went first, so now it's your turn to go first, sir.
I think I went first last time, right?
No, I said Javon Evans, and then you said Rey Mysterio.
All right, here's my problem with this one. If Oba Femi doesn't win, somebody's on drugs. But as I say that, Oba has punked out Brock Lesnar in every possible way. That, like, if Brock doesn't win this match, again, it's not going to hurt Brock because of who he is and what he's done. But, like, this match would have to go for, like, 20 to 25 minutes, and Oba wins, like, Brock tears him up, and then Oba pulls it off or something. With the way it's been built. But also, I think this puts the solidification on Oba if he beats Brock. But then my question is this. What's next? Oba Femi beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. What's next? Where does he go next? It's like you're not going to be in the title picture probably because if they do play out the other thing, does Oba fall in line and become the leader of the WWE side in front of CM Punk and Cody? I think the fans would want that, but I don't know that the WWE would want that right now. Ultimately, in the future, yes, Oba leads and is the face of WWE. So with that being said, Oba for the win, baby. Oba for the win.
All right, I like it. I like it. You try to sell us the Brock Lesnar, and then you make a left turn and you go with Oba. Well, I've been thinking very, very hard about this, and I think I came up with something that I feel like might happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. I wish it will happen, but let's go back to last WrestleMania. The last WrestleMania, we had a man by the name of You Can't See Me lose to Cody Rhodes, and then we got Brock Lesnar come and destroy him F5 over and over again, and he left.
Yep.
then
he is the host of WrestleMania.
Oh, don't be stealing my mojo here,
Oh,
Sean.
sorry.
Don't be stealing my mojo. This is where I'm going with this. So, all of a sudden, You Can't See Me is the host of WrestleMania, which thank you, Sean, for pointing it out.
Sorry.
This is what I think is going to happen. Even though John Cena is retired, I have the feeling that the referee is going to get knocked out. And Obafemi is going to need somebody to do the 1, 2, 3 count. And that is when your host, John Cena, comes out in a referee shirt and counts the 1, 2, 3 and gets his revenge on Brock Lesnar, not by fighting him, but by making him lose, which will allow Brock Lesnar to go and say, hey, John Cena got the upper hand on this, but you only beat me because John Cena got involved. If we run it back again, you won't beat me on a fair fight. That means you could do you could run it back at a Monday night, or you could run it back at another pay-per-view. Yeah. Or he says, hey, and this time, since you want to get people involved and all that stuff, we could have a special guest referee, have John Cena come back as the special guest referee, or you could actually go ahead and say, hey, this is going to be a street fight, so anybody could get involved. So if you have help from John Cena and others, I'll have help from my guys and all that stuff, and they would just go ahead and rock WrestleMania Night 2 already with a bang like that by getting John Cena involved in this. So I'm going to go and say John Cena gets involved and costs Brock Lesnar the victory, and Obafemi wins it.
And I like that because technically Cena doesn't touch Lesnar, because I think that lessens Oba. If Cena's got to come out and do like an AA or something to Lesnar. I like that. Lesnar, they knock out the referee. Cena can slide in. I like that. I like that finish. Good job, man.
Well, No Doubt says it would be better if Cena kicks Oba in the nuts and helps Lesnar. But why would he do that? Because he's not a heel. If he would have retired as a heel, then I could see that.
Yeah. It doesn't make... I mean, again, he is Hollywood, and you could try to throw him in. But again, we've tried that. It didn't work. We tried heel Cena. It did not work. People did not... Actually, people cheered more for him as heel Cena than they did as regular Cena.
Yeah.
So, but I do like that. Like, because, again, what you could do is Oba is up for the F5. When Lesnar swings him, he hits the ref with his feet. Oba... The F5, Lesnar kind of looks around. Oba gets up, hits the power bomb or whatever, and then Cena can come down for the pin or whatever. They could work it out a little bit on that to where, I like that. I like that.
I like the Cena getting involved. I hope they do that. That's what I hope they do.
And again, like you said, on ESPN, I think you get that super Cena, rub and Lesnar, and I think that works, man. And then you go into the ladder match off of that. I think that's a pretty good start of ESPN to where people that are watching it go, maybe I should pay the $29.99 for this month. Watch the rest of the pay-per-view. If it's this good when it started, it's probably going to get better when it's Roman CM. Again, we'll see how it goes from there. The next fight for the U.S. heavyweight title, that is the United States champion, Sami Zayn, taking on Trick Williams with Little Yachty.
Yeah, I love the picture of Little Yachty back there.
That's actually him in the WWE ring. I had to crop out the other stuff.
It's okay. Little Yachty sucks either way.
The other stuff had him like red dreads, and it didn't look like what he looks like now. It was old pictures and stuff. So.
No, but I think you got Little Yachty, even though he looks like a little weasel.
I tried Little Yachty.
And he is little, right? He's Little Yachty. Look, man, I really, really feel that Trick Williams should win this. He is into a level where everybody's falling for this guy, and of course, you just finished saying earlier in the show that who better to represent the TKO side if it isn't Trick Williams? He's entertainment. Nobody likes Sami, and in this case, it feels more like the baby would be Trick, because the people like Trick more than Sami, and Sami's the heel here. And even the image that you just put on here looks like an evil Sami. It doesn't even look like a baby Sami.
Well, that's what I feel like. Well, go ahead, finish your story.
So thinking everything that's gonna pan out, I think the only concern I have here is that Carmelo Hayes might get involved. That's the only thing that could hurt Trick Williams, because you saw how Trick went to Carmelo and told Carmelo, "Yo, man, I thought you were gonna get the job done, and you did it." So if they involve Carmelo Hayes in some way, somehow, it could cost Trick Williams the opportunity to win the belt. Um, I'm gonna go and say, I might be wrong on this. I'm gonna say Zami wins this. I say Zami. I feel like somebody's gonna get involved. I feel something's gonna happen. I think there'll be some trickery, or somebody's gonna get involved, some misstep or anything like that. And it's a good way for Trick to be able to run this back, or if he's part of the TKO, a good reason for him to say, "Hey, look, I lost, so now I joined the dark side because they're gonna get me to the next level." So I'm gonna go with Sammy on this one.
See, I kind of feel like that's the way Sammy's going. Sammy's losing everything. He's like, I hear your boos, but I'm like, I can't even like paraphrasing what he said. He's like, I know people don't like me, but I'm here for the real Sammy fans. Like, I don't know how many real Sammy fans there are. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like this is you're gonna get the evil Sammy in this. And to be honest, man, I like your thinking with Carmelo coming out. But like, if you still cost Trick this moment, what are we doing?
Is Trick ready for that belt?
To be the U.S. title? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I don't know.
I mean, it's like NXT champion, U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion.
I like that you think that he deserves it, because you didn't think Javon was gonna win it, even though it's a ladder match. And I know you said that he's gonna make a mess up and hit himself or something, but
I think like after the ladder match, you're gonna be talking about Javon Evans, but not because he won, but because of everything else he does in it. Whereas with Trick, I think you talk about him because he's the new United States champion. Just like that's the same reason I'm going with Oba over Brock. Like if we're going to talk about WWE's now starting to listen to the fans, then how do you not put Trick Williams over? If that's the again, the dynamic you want to go with, because now with Sammy losing, he can crash out and do his thing. And with Trick winning, he can be like, I'm too good for this. I need to be with them. If they go this route, which more than likely they will not, because I'm thinking it. But I think Trick has to win this, man.
Let me ask you something. What is Sammy's record on WrestleManias? Because remember we had this conversation once, and I think it was like, or it was on pay-per-views. I don't remember that he was like 0 and something. Like he hasn't won.
Yeah, he won with KO that year, beating the Usos for the tag team championships.
Okay, but by himself, because I remember he lost
by
to
himself. I don't think he's any good.
He's ever won, right? Because I think he lost that time. He lost to Drew McIntyre, right? It was like we were saying that Zammy was gonna win because he was in his hometown, or like because of the crowd, and he lost, and we were like, damn, Zammy's the, and I'll never forget Adrian saying that Zammy always loses in these main event ones when it's 1-on-1. In these pay-per-views. So I think he might be 0-5 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, you know what it is? He is winless when it comes to going for the heavyweight belt, the big belt.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think he was
oh yeah, he's 2-0 at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Wow. No, he's actually 3-0.
Really?
Because
okay.
well, no, this is as singles, I'm sorry. As singles, listen to this.
Okay.
He defeated Daniel Bryan to retain the Intercontinental Championship. And he defeated Gunther to win the Intercontinental Championship, ending a record-breaking 666-day reign of Gunther. You know what I think I'm going to do?
Don't tell me I switched.
I'm going to sit right here right now, and I'm going to proclaim my pick is correct. Trick Williams wins it. let's go on to the next match.
All right, cool.
Dirty Dom, Demon Balor.
Is that really his tattoo?
No, this is a mock art. I didn't
Okay.
want to take the other one. The other one, it was all in black paint, black body paint, so it didn't really go with the black background. It didn't work out.
Okay, cool.
So with this one, is it my turn first or you first? Who's first?
You, because I picked Zammy and you just picked Trick.
All right. I'm going the Demon Finn Balor because you don't make him be the demon unless he's actually going to win this one. And I think it leads into what I was saying where redemption for Dominic Mysterio on Raw because he's going to be coming off a loss to Finn Balor at WrestleMania. So when his dad wins the Intercontinental title and is getting his flowers, he comes out and being like, well, you might have had a good night. I didn't, but tonight I will. And he will. Congratulations, Dominic Mysterio. The Intercontinental Championship is yours on Raw, but you're taking an L at WrestleMania once again. The Demon Finn Balor walks out, or whatever he does, victorious.
I like your idea, but not so fast, like Lee Corso says, sir. WrestleMania 39, you had a brutal Hell in the Cell, and it was Edge, and he defeated none other than the Demon, Finn Balor. How can you go ahead and not have Dominic Mysterio beat Finn Balor, especially with JD, with Liv Morgan, with Raquel? Maybe Liv doesn't come out, but Raquel and Roxanne, and that's where you're gonna solidify Roxanne going ahead and possibly getting involved, and maybe she's gonna go help Dom, or maybe she helps Finn Balor or Demon Balor. But does Demon Balor need help? I don't know. I feel at the end of the day, though, maybe Roxanne goes to help Demon Balor and accidentally clocks him, and then it brings that story where you could carry on. Hey, is Roxanne part of Judgment Day, or is she gonna go ahead and side with Demon Balor? I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm not going against my boy Dom Mysterio. I say Dom Mysterio wins, and it catapults him to go ahead and challenge for the IC belt. Because why would you get a shot at the IC belt if you just came off a loss? It just doesn't make any sense. To redeem himself? No.
Really, now we're making sense on how to get shots. He's going to take a shot at his deadbeat dad is what he's going to do.
After taking an L? How does that make any sense?
He fought the demon, man. He's not fighting a regular guy. He could beat Finn Balor. He's fighting a demon. You ever fought demons?
No, I have not. Well, I feel like I fight a demon every Tuesday and Wednesday on Square Circle Digest. But
Me too. Me too, buddy. Me too. All right, let's move on. We got 2 matches to go, and we've already been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania.
Yep. All right, Rhea and Jade. What say you, my friend? Or is it?
No, it's me. It's on me. It's on me. All right, so you look, man. There's Jade is good. She needs a lot of work. She got B-Fab and Meechin, those heavy hitters on her side. You know, a lot of people are criticizing Rhea Ripley because she lost a lot of weight. She said that she lost a lot of weight because of her back and all that stuff. A lot of news over that stuff popping up recently, coincidentally. I don't see Jade getting over Rhea Ripley right now. I think Rhea Ripley deserves the belt. It's WrestleMania. I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley. I think, right? I mean, they tortured Io Sky in front of her face. Come on, man. You gotta get redemption for that. She kicked B-Fab's ass. She kicked Meechin's ass. She did all that. She's getting in Jade Cargill's head. Rhea Ripley takes the win.
You know what's funny is I said this thing about, this whole buildup, Jade has really punked Rhea like Oba has punked Brock Lesnar. The difference is Brock Lesnar's a heel and Brock Lesnar can take it. I think you're right. I think Rhea has to win this because if she doesn't, you really make her look like a punk. Because she's the baby face in all this. You made her sit there and watch Io get beat. And then Io gets beat clean on SmackDown too. You know what I'm saying? So like at this point, like, again, I think this is a good growing part for Jade. She had the title for a little while. She loses the title. She comes back. Maybe she wins it later on down the line as B Fab and Michin and them, they kind of come together better as a group. Maybe they help her, beat Rhea down the line. But I think in this one, and this is why I think Io gets added to this card, because I think Io's going to be there, because I think Michin and B Fab are going to try to get involved, and Io's going to come out and actually save Rhea. But accidentally, Io Sky, guess what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Rio is about to become, Jade Cargill leaves WrestleMania, the champion, because Io Sky messes up by accident. But costs Rhea Ripley, and now there's dissension in Rio.
I will say this. Now that you mentioned that, I think I'm sticking with my pick with Rio.
Yeah.
And you know who comes back eventually? Like she might not come back right away, but she should be coming back hopefully soon. And that was the previous champion who had to actually give up her belt because she got pregnant. And what better way to have is a heel versus a baby than those two? But you could also say, hey, Jake Cargo and her as well, right? So that because there's some feud between them. So I think it looks good. I want to see what happens after this match and see where they go with this. So it could go either way. Are you falling? Are you trying to look up to see if?
I'm trying to see when Naomi is having.
Well, Naomi already had the kid. She already had him.
When did they have? A month ago.
Yeah. So she's been out for about a month. Now a month after having the kid.
So yeah, she could probably come back to SmackDown after, and they just switch roles because everybody's going to be cheering for Naomi after she had to give up the title because she went to have a baby. Nobody's going to remember the heel tread with caution and all that stuff. She's going to be the baby.
So that's a good one.
And she's going to go right after Jade, I think.
That's not a bad idea. That could be true.
And again, I think what happens is Io is trying to help Rhea, but she makes, she gets going and does her whole thing and gets fired up and accidentally hits Rhea with something, and then turns into jaded or whatever, and it's over that quickly. And then there's some little dissension. All right. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, the final match of the Sunday. Frankie Fresco.
I'll go first. I'll go first again. No worries. There's no way in hell that Frankie Fresco is wearing an OTC shirt and not going to pick OTC to win this. I'm just letting you guys. Yes, but I love Punk, but there's only one tribal chief, and you got to acknowledge the tribal chief there. You got to acknowledge him. I feel there's going to be shenanigans all over this. I wanted CM Punk to win, but then CM Punk became a little bitch and went ahead and said, "Oh, I respect you and I apologize." And all this stupid crap that I was so mad at when he said that. I thought that was dumb. I like the fact that they didn't let them I like the fact that they just had a conversation. Like they've already beaten each other up so much that they didn't have to, go after each other.
That made both of them kind of, to me, lose something because Roman, you've been put through tables by him. He's made fun of your family. CM Punk's been put through tables by Roman, and now this time you guys come in and I shouldn't have said what I said. What?
Well, I'll say this.
You're better off cutting two different vignettes of them in the back.
Yes.
And CM Punk talking to himself, like, you know what? I shouldn't have done what I did. I overstepped the boundaries of what I, CM Punk, hold myself to. A standard I hold CM Punk to. I overstepped that. I talked about legends. I did all this as he's sitting on steps or whatever. But one on in front of each other. Like, you guys just beat the crap out of each other for 3-4 weeks, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna face to face and go off air.
Well,
Yeah,
well, this is the thing. I felt like they should have never brought them. Remember, we
yeah,
said
yeah,
this.
yeah.
They should have done it. But once I found out that they were both going to be there, what else are you going to do with them? Like, duke it out again? We've already seen that.
Dude, you had Oba and Brock sign the contract separately.
Yes. They could
So
have done. They could
why
have done
couldn't
the
you have
same,
just
but
done backstage? Michael Cole will talk with Brock Lesnar backstage, or sorry, Roman Reigns backstage. Michael Cole will sit down with CM Punk backstage next, or whatever. Just do that, man, and have a whole bunch of security there. And you could even do something where CM Punk tries to get toward Roman, and it doesn't happen, so that they can't go after each other. But I just feel like you put them face to face, and then CM Punk, and it's not that the promos were bad. It's just the context of the promos to me felt bad after all of this that's gone down.
yeah, they were hating each other. But
Yeah.
again, when they made the decision that they were going to be face to face in the ring, I felt like there's nothing more they could do as far as like going ahead and just hitting. Like they can't hit each other even more. They've been hitting each other. They've been taking jabs at each other. What are you going to do? Insult him and the other one insult
Already
you?
done it.
No. So then that's why I kind of felt I was like, look, since you're both bringing them both out, just have a conversation. That's all they needed to do. Just have a conversation, and that's exactly what they did. Does it mean it was the right decision? No, I felt like I agree with you 100% where they should have not even, they could have done something backstage. They could have done like promo videos on both of them or something like that. They could have done that if they wanted. But since they did them face to face in the ring, I guess I was fine with the fact that they just had a conversation instead of like jabbing at each other or insulting each other. That's been the buildup the whole time. So why do it even more? But like I said, I feel Roman is going to win this. I feel like there's going to be some interference. I feel like maybe Pat McAfee gets involved in this as well. I feel like maybe Randy Orton could get involved in this as well. And there's a possibility that maybe even The Rock gets involved in this if he's. And now that Eric mentioned that, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe The Rock gets involved in this and we get a wild moment and you know everything leads up to TKO taking over and being the number one like heel and then bringing all these bad guys into it. You got Roman Reigns. He joins because The Rock is part of it. You have Randy Orton. He's part of it because of Pat McAfee. You start bringing these guys and making that cult on that side over there and that team against the WWE babies and CM Punk won it last year. I believe did he win? Did he? No, he lost it last year because Paul Heyman
Yeah, Seth
struck him.
Rollins did it. Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like CM Punk is okay taking L's in main event of WrestleMania. I think he takes another L this year. I'm gonna say Roman Reigns wins this.
Yeah, and the whole thing is he's not taking clean L's. There's
Yes,
always
correct.
shenanigans in them. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
good
So
point, yeah.
again, it would be the same way I think if I thought CM Punk would win. And I agree with Eric where he said this is honestly the one match I'm not sure about. I feel it can go either way, and I haven't been able to say that about a main event in a while. And I agree 100% with that. It's just with my personal view and how I hope the story goes, to me, it has to be Roman Reigns beating CM Punk, especially with the way CM Punk has been going at Ari Emanuel, at Pat McAfee, it would make more sense, as you said, for them to get involved in this, for The Rock to get in, for whatever shenanigans they do to end WrestleMania. Could you imagine in the middle of the ring at the end of WrestleMania Night 2? It's Roman Reigns and Randy Orton holding up the belts. The Rock and Pat McAfee right beside them. And that's how it ends in Vegas this time. Like, I mean, again, none of that could happen, and this could be just a straight match, and CM Punk beats Roman or whatever. But I feel like there's got to be shenanigans, and this has got to lead to more TKO versus WWE to build on what they're doing now. And again, that's just going off of what they've been doing. So I'm going to go Roman Reigns in this as well, but Eric is 100% right. It could go either way because, again, we don't know the story they're going for, and we could be totally wrong on this whole story.
He could be. We
You know,
could be 100%. So
and at the same time, how about this? What I thought about this afterwards. What if Triple H is actually on the side of Ari Emanuel and TKO? You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, you could bring this any way you want to go, but we'll talk about that if and when it gets to that point. Frankie,
quick recap.
what you were gonna say? Yep, go ahead.
Quick recap. Again, our predictions. You got Rey Mysterio. I got Javon Evans. Obafemi for the both of us. I got Zammy. You got Trick. We got you got Demon Ballard. I got Dom. You got Jade. I got Rhea, and we both got Roman. So we have more. We have
Yeah,
one, two, three, four. We have
yeah.
four differences. So a little bit more exciting
Yeah.
on Sunday for
Sunday
us.
night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
If you
think
guys,
Saturday nights again. Saturday night matches I feel like are more predictable, shall we say, than Sunday. Sunday could go either way, depending on which way you want to go with the stories. To me, and then that's what makes WrestleMania so good. When it's good, because you can't. There's different ways you can go with different storylines, and you don't know which way. As Eric said, it's not predictable. So,
correct.
Frankie, let them know where they can get a hold of you, man, and see you and all the stuff you got going on.
Frankie Fresco, YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe to both my channel and of course Stanley Media House. And then you guys can follow me at Fresco Music on all social media platforms. As far as like work is concerned, I'm always busy. I'm always gonna be everywhere. I got a lot of work. I got a prom on Friday. I got a DJ. I'm doing a wedding on Saturday, and then obviously, I'm gonna be jumping on board and doing the Rainy Day podcast. So if you guys show some love to our fellow colleagues here, Rainy Pod, Adrian and Tony, I'm gonna be there. I think Sean is gonna be there as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe he could
Yeah, it'll be
confirm.
the 2 Raw for SmackDown. I'll be on the Saturday and Sunday post and Sunday pre.
Okay, cool. So I won't be on the Saturday, but I will be on the Sunday pre and post. So I will definitely be there on Sunday. So you guys are more than welcome to catch us on there on Sunday. And then obviously Sean is going to be there as well on Saturday. So shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And also don't forget to, again, hit that like and hit the subscribe. And shout out to Sammy. I heard he's going to
Yeah,
be there too.
yes, Sammy's going to be on. It's 2 Raw for SmackDown. Saturday, they've got a pre and post. Sunday, they got pre and post for WrestleMania. That's Adrian, the Rainy Day Podcast, and Tony from Talking Game. Make sure you follow both of them. Make sure you check out Finn's TV with Sammy. Eric, thank you, sir, for being in. Spend no doubt. Appreciate you. Also, make sure you go and check out Dirty South Entertainment Marcus and the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast. Again, I was able to join him. We talked about WrestleMania 30. We broke it down. That episode will be released tomorrow, so make sure you go support him. And let me see who else we had in here. Michael Vasquez, appreciate you. Adrian, appreciate you being in as always. Tyler Helton, he was in during the AEW stuff. We probably lost him as AEW kicked off. And no doubt, Darby Allin's probably on his way to the ring right now. Tony was in with us. Then we started talking AEW, and he left. Finn Sammy correcting Frankie there with the language. It's not weed. It's a small parrot. And again, we had a lot of good action in the comments here. So appreciate each and every one of you. Me Papa, sorry, was in as well. Make sure you check me out at SS_Sports Talk, and you can check me out at Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Don't forget about Frankie Fresco YouTube channel as well. On the Stanley Media House, we have Talking Racing Now, which I think we're doing an episode tomorrow. And then we have the Squared Circle Digest, of course, on Tuesday or Wednesday, and South Florida Sports Unfiltered. Myself and Adrian from Rainy Day Podcast get you caught up on the latest non-happenings in South Florida sports, because we got a bunch of losers. No, I'm just kidding. Panthers were injured, Heats are losers, and Inter Miami is Inter Miami.
The best
And
thing that
Marlins
could
are
have
winning.
the best thing that could have happened to the Heat. That's
Yes,
just me.
100%. 100%. And we want to thank each and every one of you that watch us on X, on Twitch, on Facebook. Don't forget to jump over to our YouTube channels. Please, Stanley Media House Network and Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe. Hit the notifications. We will talk to you next Tuesday. WrestleMania will be in the books. how will we think they went? Will we be upset? Will we ever watch wrestling again? Tune in next Tuesday, 7 p. The place to be. It is the Squared Circle Digest. And in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.
The Squared Circle Digest!